man, that intro music gets me going every time. Salute to the man, Mr. And I forget his name as soon as I start the show. Sean LeBray, who put this together for us. The intro, the music, every time. It could be 10 o'clock in the morning, I hear that and I'm going. And I appreciate him for doing that for us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. How are you happen to be watching and or listening to this? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast where, yeah, we're missing another co-host this morning, but this time it's for an actually a proper reason. It's for a proper reason, and
or
because,
so he says.
Oh no! I won't give him smack for that one. Usually we're here giving the man some smack, but he will be here. He just has some business he has to attend to before he's able to join us. But of course, I'm your host, Mr. K Asante, TKO Asante on your Xbox, your PlayStation, all the places that we end up communicating. And I am, of course, joined this time by my other co-host, the man who you can catch with me on Monday nights on the Gamers Playground, Latino Heat himself, Mr. John Wolf. Good morning, sir.
What's up, Kay? What's up, Chad? It's a pleasure to be here, man. Sorry that I'm not going to be on camera today, but I literally woke up late. Haven't shaved in like a week. I'm a mess this morning.
Shave?
So,
what's shaving look like? What was that?
Oh man, you know, I'm missing knees from our little bed. So I barely crawled over here to get ready for the show. All right, but I'm ready to go, man. It's been a hell of a week, especially if you're on those Twitter streets. You've seen my obnoxious takes lately. So looking forward to the show, man, and it's always a pleasure to be here, and let's get the show on the road, man.
Absolutely. So those who are asking where is Everborn Saga, he'll be back, I promise you. He may even be on the show today. He promised me he'll be here because there's some FUD spreading in the community, and you know Mr. Everborn's FUD stomper. He's here to stomp all the FUD, get y'all straight.
Yeah.
So he wants to be here, and we'll talk about it. We have so much to discuss this morning. We're talking about ridiculous, crazy game drops that just happened out of nowhere. Xbox is all over the place.
Crazy.
Xbox is in Brazil right now, interview after interview with Phil Spencer. You know, PlayStation's doing interesting things left and right as well. There's a lot to discuss, and of course, what is it? What was Xbox going third party? I know that's the part that.
Oh yeah, no, I already put my Series X in a special case to you know, since it's gonna be a collector's edition. So I'm making sure that I have it in pristine condition, you know, for the resale market. But Kay, what's incredible to me is that in a year, like a banner year like we've had for gaming, with game after game after game, the news cycle hasn't let up, man, and we're on December 2nd and the news just keeps trickling in. It's like
stop. Yep.
Yeah, for content creators, it's been a hell of a year as well, man. So it's all good, man.
It's crazy. But you know what? Let's get this thing started as we always do. So we will start this show properly as we do with the games we have been playing. Now, of course, Mr. Co-host, what has been keeping you busy this week, sir? What games are you still sweaty on that COD train, or are you playing something else these days? What's going on?
No, actually, in the last week, I put a lot of time. I put some more time on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because you know that we're gonna be doing that playthrough in chronological order. So
serendipitous that you bring up Assassin's Creed. That is what is playing on my screen right now. But this is actually this will be the new one, Mirage. But
Mirage.
Yes.
Mirage. Yeah, that's third on the list of our chronological playthrough, but I'm still playing through Odyssey, man. That's such a great game, and I'm really taking my time. I'm not trying to rush through it. Also, I've been playing on the PS Portal, man, you know, the last couple of weeks.
Speak on it. Yes.
Yeah, I know that that's not a popular device, and I know that definitely we acknowledge its shortcomings in our latest episode and the last episode we have of Gamers Playground. But I've been putting some time, you know. I've been playing through I've been having some kind of long work days. So after work, I've been playing Sackboy's the Sackboy game that came out. You know,
Every time I hear that name of that game, I feel like screaming pause. But I'm sorry, continue. And by the way,
Fuzzy
just so you know,
Sackboy too.
Just stop. By the way, you do realize that game is also on Steam, so you could be playing on your Ally with that. But continue.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, but you know us, man. There's no missionary gaming allowed here, man. All right, we go across the board. We try different things. All right, because it gets boring missionary gaming the same every single night. Okay, so yeah, man. Honestly, been playing on the portal.
For the quick record, the words of John Wolf do not represent GCP as a whole. Missionary is a great position. Stop it. Pause. Continue.
Yeah, no, I agree. But when it's the same every single,
stop it.
Just gotta change it up, man.
Talk about the portal.
No, but seriously, I know that talking positively about the portal is a little polarizing, and I know that and like I said, we acknowledge all of its shortcomings and all that good stuff. So it's not like we are especially on our circle, we're not naive to criticize things and bring the smoke. But at the same time, I can also say that I've enjoyed my time with it. Okay. And with that's pretty much it, Kay. Honestly, between those two games and Twitter, those are the only games I've been playing, to be honest with you, this week.
At least he's honest. He plays the game that is Twitter as much as he plays the games that are
100%.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, I see a bunch of folks already in here. Before we even go on further, salute to all the great names in here. Of course, Mr. Joanna Dark. I see you in there, Paris. I see a bunch of folks in here. For those wondering, Mr. Everborn Saga, the kneeless one, will join us in time. He is doing some adulting this morning, so I'm not going to give him any crap for that. Adulting comes first. So he does want to talk. He does have some things he wants to discuss in the chat and all that. But he'll be here a little later, to once he's able to join us. So expect to see him, and maybe we might even have a few guests here and there that might drop in and make their presence known as well. But you know what? Before we'll continue talking games, but I should also note, and once Everborn gets here, maybe we'll talk a little further. These will be we're obviously rounding the bottom of the year, and as such, our show numbers are going to start to dwindle. So you're going to see that maybe we might fill the feed with a few interesting episodes. We've promised that we wanted to talk. We wanted to have a spoiler talk about what do you call it, Starfield. So I think that's the next thing we're gonna do. We're not exactly sure when that's gonna fit in, but it's gonna be definitely this month. We're gonna reach out to the community and talk to some folks who finished the game who want to talk about it, and we're definitely gonna sit down and have like a full-fledged, like, spoilerific conversation about it. So expect that in your feed soon to come, as well as a few other things. And I think we also want to have a show where we're discussing 2024 and some changes that there's gonna come on this channel, some interesting upgrades, some things. So yeah, I'm super excited to talk to folks about what's happening. So yes, stay tuned for more future stuff. Also, because on this show we appreciate the community, and we've been very generous. We've been very, very blessed to get folks giving us opportunities and all this. Some time ago, if you recall, I was given the opportunity to Game Pass reached out and said, hey, here's the Game Pass PC code. Try some games, talk about them on the show, and we did that.
Will it work on my PS5? Okay, will that code work? Oh no, never mind. Sorry about that.
It would if it had a browser, right? But
I got you.
You know. But yes, needless to say, they did that, and it was cool, and we did that, and it was all good. And it worked out well. So something happened. One thing led to another. I'm like, you know what? The people appreciated what we were doing. Last time we were on, we also dropped some codes. So guess what? Today, for those who are here for the length of the show, like we did last week, we have a 3-month Game Pass Ultimate code to drop. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so you get it. It's all yours. 3-month Game Pass Ultimate. I will be dropping pieces of the code in the chat. I will make sure that everyone has all the pieces, and at the end, whoever gets it, let me know. And obviously, we appreciate you all for watching. We appreciate y'all for being here. So many awesome people that always continue to show their support. So thank you so much. And of course, Mr. Joanna Dark, $2 super chat. John, PS3 6 Axis says hi. to your RogAlly.
Wow. Man, Mr. Dry in the Dark is he's something else, isn't he?
Well, he's here for the smoke. He's here for the smoke. And you know what?
And I love him. And I love him for it.
I'll be honest with you. I was on that smoke tip myself because, yeah, I wanted to try the ally. I heard all this great stuff, and we'll diverge for a little bit. Want to talk about the ally. Oh, I don't play my ally as much because, you know, the king has spoken.
Here we go.
But you know.
Here we go.
But because, you know, the ally got some boosts, the ally got a few little upgrades, this and that, you know. What is it? You got gyro controls officially and this and that. So I actually picked up a case. I don't know if y'all saw it on Twitter. I picked up a very cool case for my ally. Right? Really interesting case that I thought was really cool. And we'll probably talk more about it on the Gamers Playground at some point. But the reason I bring it up is I go in to try and get said upgrades. And what happened? After trying 2 hours and it keep failing on the server side, I was like, nah, this ain't your king. And I went back to the real king.
That's the game. You know how the gaming gods are, okay? You know that when you give your time to and love to other devices and you go back to your faithful one, they're gonna be looking at you with the side eye like, where you been all night?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So you got stuck. So you got hindered. So your experience got hindered because you got stuck on that screen, basically.
Oh, it's not that I got stuck on the screen. I wanted to try the new upgrades. They won't install.
Oh, I got you.
They won't install.
Wow.
Yes, they fail server side. They won't install, and they have not released the binaries in full, so you can't download it yourself and then install it yourself. It has to download by hitting their servers. And right now, of course, you know, Ally Troglodyte Nation, everybody's crunching the servers. So I can't see the new upgrades. So it's like, I guess I gotta wait until everybody gets theirs, and then, you know.
No, but that seems a little strange because I went through without a hitch. I guess I would, if I were you, like if you see that your time, and I know this is kind of like damage control, but if you see that your time is not being like, if you're having still issues with it, Kay, try early in the morning. That's when I did it. I did it right when I woke up, and I went through without a hitch. So maybe it just depends on the timing, you know, on the time that you tried to do it.
I'll give you that. It's fine. It's just, I was excited to try it. People were all excited about gyro controls. This has had gyro controls since day one.
Yeah, ETA Prime had a great video showing off the gyros. So I haven't tried it myself yet because I'm really not a gyro. I don't like the gyro controls and stuff like that. I just like using the joysticks, you know, the pause. But people say it works really well, man. I think that Asus this is what I'm happy. Say what you will, you can have your preferred device across the board because that's why so many players are in this space. But the one thing I will give Asus credit for is that they have stayed true to their word that they would keep on implementing updates. And I think that after 6 months, they are in a great place. And the ecosystem that they're building, they're pushing it forward, and I like that.
You get no argument from me there. Absolutely, you get no argument from me there. They have actually, like, and y'all, those who have seen this show, who've been on in this community for a while, y'all know I have been on their butt about making sure that they continue to like give this specific device some love, because they tend to be we've released one, now let's release the next one and get more money, rather than, hey, this device is what we should respect, right? So I give them a lot of respect for that. They've done right by the device, absolutely. I just wish that, you know, there are a few areas that they just need to clean up a little bit, you know, from their support perspective. But no, I will give them the respect they deserve. I will say though, come on now, Asus, you know, we live in 2023, almost 2024. You could get more bandwidth so that everybody can download their binaries when they need to, or at least let it be available somewhere where I can go download the whole thing and then install it myself, rather than hitting your servers that are crunching at this point. You know, so it is what it is. But it's fine. It's fine. So let's talk about some more games. As you see on the screen here, I'm playing. I was playing Mirage, and to your point, and for those who aren't aware, we have been, myself and John Wolf, we have been, we've taken the biggest undertaking. Which in hindsight was probably the dumbest idea, because there's just so many other games coming. But we were like, hey, we love Assassin's Creed. People don't give Assassin's Creed enough credit, right?
We couldn't have picked to do this passion project at a worse time.
Exactly. So
but still,
we're playing this game in chronological order whenever possible. So obviously it starts with Odyssey, and then it will go on and on and on, and this will fit. Mirage will fit in the timeline. So will Syndicate. So will what's the other one? There was Odyssey. There was Origins. Origins.
Yeah, Origins is actually.
I love Origins. Oh,
love Origins actually, chronological order will take place before Mirage. So
it's the second one, right?
It's the second one, right?
Yeah,
so I mean, me and Kay have our list here, full. It's in chronological order, and our plans are obviously to play through one of the games and then have a full-blown show to talk about it. And just if you're an Assassin's Creed fan or just a fan in general of the of games and want to hear about this particular game, come on by when we start doing those shows. It's gonna be a good conversation.
Yep. We'll promote it. I'm a big history fan. I love like the world, and I travel a lot, and I see that's a different things. And I've always respected, even beyond the gaming aspects of what the Assassin's Creed does. They throw so much accurate history in these games that I just can't help but love it. So these are the games that I point to when people say, "Oh, why? What are games worth?" Any Assassin's Creed. You want to know? You want to be a history buff? Play Assassin's Creed. Get 1,000 achievements or trophies in any of those games, and you'll learn a piece of history that you didn't know before, because they're very accurate with it. And I always
absolutely. And I do think that regardless of the quality of the story in these games, one of the things that I do give Ubisoft and their teams credit for is that these things are a labor of love, and you can see the passion in each of the games, and you can really see that each time frame that they visit is well represented in the best way that they can.
Absolutely. Yep. That's exactly it. Yes. Mr. Gerald Mack in the chat asking in all caps, yelling, "I'm gonna need some GCP emojis."
Oh,
sir, he has kept the boot on my neck about that for some time now. And between us, we don't do anything half-assed, as it were. We're working on emoji game, because Everborn Saga needs to make sure that the tinfoil koofies look extra special. So don't worry. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we're going to be talking about what's going to happen in 2024, and that's definitely going to be is on the docket, bro. Don't even worry about it. Salute to you for keeping us on that. You refuse to let that go, and I appreciate that, and that's great. And I have been talking with Miss Everborn in the background about this and a few other interesting upgrades that we're going to be looking. We're going to be looking around
You're going to launch it. You're going to launch it at the same time that Xbox updates their achievements, basically, is what you're saying.
Which is never,
right?
Oh, so, man, stop it. So, okay, what else I have been playing since you basically have given your gaming gods to Twitter, because yes, Twitter really deserved it this week. I'll be honest.
No, for sure, absolutely. And I've been having a lot of fun. Going back and forth with a lot of folks. So they deserve it, man. They deserve that smoke for being fools.
Another game I have been playing, which maybe I actually even have footage of it so I can show y'all, but I have to say I am loving it. Those who have heard me on Twitter or have seen me talking about it, I love, with a capital L, Robocop. I can't stop playing that game. And actually, you know what? The footage is a little gory for a Saturday morning, so I'm gonna leave that on, because I had a headshot display going on. I have like an hour shot where all I'm doing is just headshotting people. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up to you, John, is you're a person who's not necessarily the biggest fans of gyro controls. Neither am I. I've never been a gyro control kind of guy. Steam Deck has done gyros. A few other handhelds do gyros, and I've never really connected with it. But man, when you are playing Robocop Rogue City and you turn the gyros on, and all you really do is you hit the trigger, right? And then you move. If you don't hit the trigger, meaning you don't scope or aim, it doesn't gyro. Only when you hit the trigger, like you're aiming to shoot, that's when you move, the gyros enable. And then you can use your regular thumbstick to, aim like you normally do. Oh, but then a final move, just a little bit to get that. Oh my God, it is game changing. Like,
you know what? I remember, I know what you're talking about, because I remember Uncharted Golden Abyss for the Vita. It had that feature, a standard, to kind of sell off all of the little quirks of the device of the Vita back in the day. That was actually one of the things. And I remember, you're right, the gyro did help with the aiming.
It's not for everything, right? Not for all of that, because then there's too much. But if you're using your game as you normally do, right? As you normally do, and I'm shooting bodies, the minute I turn on the trigger, I'm able to just that little slight movement, headshot, boom, headshot. Like
and in Robocop, because I played a couple of levels of Robocop, and you do in that game, you do shoot certain body parts, and you get some funny commentary.
It's crunchy. it's like listening to somebody shoot a watermelon. Like the sound is just like. It's the craziest thing.
It's satisfying. It's satisfying.
Super satisfying. So yes, for those who maybe aren't necessarily the biggest gyro folks, give it a try. Depending on the game you're playing, you can do some tweaking, and it's chef's kiss. It's quite good. It's quite good. So I've been playing that, and I've been playing that on this baby right here, which has had gyro since day one. I'm just saying.
Oh, come on, man. Here we go. You and Mr. Johanna Dark like throwing those shots, man, but you got to take it. If you dish it, here's some advice for everybody. If you dish it, you got to also take it. So we got Ally Nation, RogAlly Nation got to take that one in the chin.
My only thing, the reason why I like to throw that out there, some chum in the water every once in a while, like me being the person I am, I tend to be on the edge of technology, right? So I tend to find these things that I get used to, right? So this device has been with me for a while now. I'm used to it. I've been playing it a while. And then everybody's like, oh, have you seen this new thing? It's the Lenovo Legion Go. It's amazing. It's got 8 inches. And the only other one that came before. Yeah, well, big pause. the only other thing that came before it was the Ally and this and that. And I'm just like, guys, this is old hat, ladies and gentlemen. It's been part of the zeitgeist forever. Like, what are we talking about here? And people are throwing too many flowers at it, and I kind of feel like I need to bring it down a peg. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. The thing is about the Lenovo Go, and we're kind of turning this into a gamer's playground.
Oh no, of course not.
But the Lenovo Go, I've seen a lot of love has been given to the device. I'm kind of excited for those out there that have it. Let me tell you that the 8-inch screen of goodness, it's definitely something that from going between my RogAlly and the PS Portal, like it's let me tell you, I know an inch doesn't sound like a lot, and this conversation is turning really weird. Okay,
come on,
but
now.
I mean, it does. It kind of does make a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And someone's gonna totally clip this out and put it on Twitter, and now we're forever shamed. Okay, let's turn it back to the games we've been playing a little bit, because I know Ally Gang is sitting there going, stop disrespecting the inches. I agree.
So another game that I bought, and I want to ask you actually about this. What were your pickups for Black Friday? Because I got a pickup for Black Friday that I thought was super interesting, and people might throw some tomatoes at me, but I still I picked it up, and I'm looking forward to trying it. And that is a game called Forspoken.
Oh, nice. Okay. How much did you pick it up for? What was your breaking point?
My breaking point was, what was it, $15?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah. So so have you played it yet, or you just got it and you have it there on the backlog? So
I put some hours or so into the demo. Like, I really spent a lot of time in the demo because I actually liked the traversal, even though the game was kind of broken with the world and pop in and all of that. Right, but the
broken for a reason, right?
It had potential. So, like, even though I enjoyed my traversal time, I was like, I'll wait till this thing is fully complete before I get back to it. So I'm actually looking forward to killing off Robocop, like really finishing it off, and then that might be the next thing that I jump into and play fully, and maybe we'll have some footage of that at some point. But yeah, how about that?
Universally, right? Like commercially, if you look across like Twitter and pretty much our circle, the two games I think that this year really kind of disappointed, obviously Redfall being on the Xbox side, and then Forspoken being on the PlayStation side, are really the two most I guess you can say disappointments of the year. And I'm interested
was last
in
year,
your
wasn't
thoughts.
Am I wrong? Or was
it was last year.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Okay, well, yeah, I'm still a year behind. I'm sorry about that. But through it all, those are the two games that have really I've seen have really been knocked hard. And let me tell you, I told this to you guys in the DM. I've tried to play Redfall about 5 times, guys, and I really have wanted to get into it. And there's just something about that game that's not vibing with me. So anybody that's tried Forspoken and it hasn't vibed with you guys, I can't say I blame you. I mean, there's something about the game that's just not calling me either.
I mean, and shout out to Mr. Boomstick Excel, great member of the community. He's here. Thank you so much for being here, good sir. He's put some mad hours into Redfall. And before, when people had criticism, and more recently when it started getting some updates, and he's still telling me how great he's enjoying it. He keeps giving me hope to want to go back to it, right? I keep throwing it back into my backlog because, you know, hey, it gets better. It gets better. So I'm hoping, and let's be clear, I am an Arcane stan through and through. This was I wouldn't say this was a disappointment for me necessarily, because I haven't really put time into it to say that it's a disappointment. But what was disappointing for me in the first place with Redfall was that you couldn't really play it. They kept saying you could, but the sentiment from those who spent a lot of time in it was that it was missing some sauce, if you will, if you played it by yourself. And they were just so good at always giving you that single player experience that I feel like it's just so sad. It's unfortunate that that's not what happened today, but Boom playing it and enjoying it all by himself as much time as he's put into it gives me hope. You know, I might throw that back on and see what's happening. You know, I do give him credit for one thing, and that's that every time that I've played it, it is very satisfying to kill the vampires, and it makes me want a Blade game so bad. So at least they if anything that they have brought to the community is that you can see visually that a Blade game would be amazing. Oh yeah. No doubt. Now we'll move on and we'll talk more and we'll talk and we'll probably get into news and whatnot. But I gotta say, like the game drops have been bananas. Yeah, man. I have like my hard drive is full because, you know me, Grazer. As soon as another one comes, you go, ooh, I'll try this, and then ooh, I'll try that. Yeah. My hard drive is full right now, and I'm still going through it. Here's a question: have you tried Rollerdrome?
No, I haven't. I saw it, and I've seen a couple of people talking about it, but no, okay, I haven't. It's definitely, I have it on my wish list as we speak, and I have not had a chance to try it, but man, it looks pretty cool.
Just jumped into Game Pass. The game has been out for like I think a year and a half. It was first really big on PC. I heard bubblings on Steam last year in the middle of the year about how people were loving it, and at the time I was like, talk to me when it comes to console. And then it came to console this year, and of course it's now on Game Pass on PC and also console. So it is really cool. I don't know if anybody in the chat has played it. If you have, please let me know, and we'll highlight your comment. It's like
I'm downloading it right now as we speak. So
bro, it's unusually cool. It's got cell shading. The artwork is timeless looking, so the whole thing is very cell shaded, timeless art style. You're on rollerblades, right? But you're playing the game like you're like Tony Hawk, doing tricks, really cool tricks. And oh, by the way, you got guns, and there are others in the arena trying to get at you. So you are pulling off tricks, stylish tricks, while murking fools left and right, and just like you're flipping upside down, bang bang bang. You're flipping on like it is. When you finally figure out the systems, it's so good. Like they figured out such a great mechanic. I haven't really gotten into the story yet, but just the mechanic of it alone, it's really cool. It's really cool.
It's got from the trailer that I'm watching right now with a couple of characters. It has that man, what's that game that came out on Xbox? An Xbox exclusive. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name now. That you were from the mind of the Mega Man guy. Oh Lord, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of this. It was an Xbox exclusive during the Xbox One days.
Oh wow. Okay. Chat, remind us. Oh, you mean geez, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the girl with the traversal. A lot of traversal, yeah, with robots. Yes.
Just from looking at a quick trailer, I mean, the it's not the same because this is kind of like cell shaded and more like in the in you know, it's meant to be something else. But I don't know why it's giving me that.
It evokes you those vibes.
Like,
yeah. Record. There you go, Flezza.
Record. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I see you, Z Black Rider. He says I'm too old for rollerblades. So am I, sir. Hashtag graybeard. That's why I play it in video game form. But in game form, trust me, it is very good. Like I was giving it short shrift. I'm like, what is this rollerblade game? But the art style combined with the moment-to-moment combat and the way it's looking,
art style.
it's
I mean, the
really
art style
good.
is it's straight out of Overwatch. You know, I'm looking at this and it looks like a just from the screenshots that I'm looking at here.
For my graybeards out there, does anybody remember Heavy Metal? The cartoon, Heavy Metal.
Of course.
You were too young to watch it when it came out. Heavy Metal. That's what this game looks like. The art style is 100% Heavy Metal. You know, just way inappropriate for children. Obviously, this one doesn't have inappropriate stuff, but Heavy Metal did. You know, you were like 8 years old and boobies were hanging out, and you were just like, anyway. Right?
You're watching the Toxic Avenger when you shouldn't.
Exactly, right? But this is very much like the art style evokes Heavy Metal, and it's beautiful. So people need to play it. I'll have some more gameplay footage and stuff on it when I have a chance to get more time with it. But it is unusually fun. You know, I hope this this is like one of those games that gets a bit more life because it's on Game Pass and people can just, you know, pick it up and give it a shot, right? As of now, of course, we're in between 1,000,001 different games. So games like this are kind of getting short shrift. They may not get the attention they deserve. The last game that I'll mention before we head to news, Jusant. I don't know if you've had a chance to put your hands on that.
No, I haven't, and I need to apologize to you real fast because for a second I thought you were talking about RoboQuest, and I got confused with Rollerdrome and RoboQuest. So everything that I just said, disregarded. Everything I just said was for RoboQuest. So disregard everything I just said, guys. But no, Jusant, I have not either. That's definitely on the list, man, and the backlog, the ever-growing backlog. But I've heard great things about that as well. What have you played it? What are your thoughts?
Bro, it has become my palate cleanser. In between Robocop, in between Forza Motorsport, in between
too many robos, man. I'm getting confused here.
In between Starfield, I have to do some climbing. Got to do a little bit of that climbing. It is peaceful. It is tranquil. The puzzles are very interesting. There's no need to fight. You know, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. Nobody trying to hurt me. It's just about climbing up that huge tall tower, and it's just really good. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it gets some awards this year because I think it deserves it. It really plays this gentle, beautiful game. It's quite good. It's quite good.
Is it kind of like is it kind of like a journey type game here where it's not really about, like you said, any fighting mechanics, any shooting mechanics. It's just kind of like an adventure, and it's just kind of going out there.
It kind of is. Yeah, it kind of is. I will, you're onto something with that journey comparison. I haven't heard that journey comparison because it's a little different. Journey has a bit more, I would say Journey has a bit more gameplay elements than this does, whereas this has different journeys about your traversal and this and that, and this is all about the climb, but the story and the way they dole it out and the message is very much like Journey. Yeah, very much like Journey. Gotcha. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been a great morning, right? And we're talking about games, and of course, we can't do that without bringing on the man who we all have come to see, as I know y'all come to see this man.
The man of the hour.
The kneeless one, Mr. Everborn Saga. Good morning, sir.
What's happening? What's happening?
Your mic
straight from NASA.
Your mic is diverted to something else. It's not your mic on your mic. I think it's your headset.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me fix that. Let me fix these things.
Everborn. So I heard that me and you are doing this show sitting on a couple of phone books here. We're missing some knees, man.
All right, how about now? How do I sound?
Perfect.
You're good, brother.
What's going on, brother?
I just came from a school choice orientation for all of Yonkers. because my 13-year-old is going into high school next year.
Nice.
And it was a madhouse mixed with a zoo, mixed with like, you know,
So
when
it's
you saw all the zombies together in World War Z and they were all climbing on top of each other? That is exactly what it was like.
Oh, so it was Twitter. I gotcha. Okay.
Yes. Because there's like, so there are like 3 or 4 good schools in Yonkers, and Yonkers is like one of the biggest cities in New York. It's the 3rd largest school district in all of New York, or the 5th largest school districts in all of New York, but I think it's the 3rd. And so everybody in the city wants to get into like 3 or 4 schools. And then, you know, if you don't get in, then your kid goes where they goes, because a lot of the other ones suck. I know this from having I've been through this process before, so I have a little bit experience under my belt. But suffice to say, it was a rough morning.
I thought you told me you were gonna go pick up your Cybertruck, bro. What happened?
No, I'm not. They're not gonna call me for that probably till 2026, because when I pre-ordered it, they already had over 1 million.
Oh my god!
1 million pre-orders. They had announced that, and I pre-ordered it sometime after that in 2021 or 2022, because it was unveiled in 2019. So they're talking about hopefully delivering 250,000 in the first year.
Oh boy! So you're gonna get yours when your beard is as gray as mine.
Oh, absolutely.
When you get your truck, Xbox will be out of the console business.
Oh no!
Right. Like I'm getting ready to finish paying off the first Tesla. By the time I get this one, the second Tesla will be paid off. So
my question is, when you eventually do get the Cybertruck, are you literally gonna go to the shooting range and just let everybody just go at it?
No, I'm gonna let the robots do it.
Oh, I got you.
Okay. I need to stop. I need to stop and address this. Immediately.
It's not a real video, but still.
I need to address this immediately, right? Because Dorian Grey being too disrespectful in my chat this morning.
Oh,
that
damn.
Terrible. Too disrespectful, bro. Don't do that. No. You will break my show.
Man. I want to know who's the side piece and who's the
unfortunately by default I have to take the mistress. I have to take the mistress card because I came in after.
You are Mr. February 15th.
Yeah,
you are the one that doesn't get called on the holidays.
Exactly. But Kay Asante still pays the bills, so that's all that matters.
Hey, listen. You get him when he tells me he's going on work trip.
Stop it.
Exactly. And then I get my freedom back. So I offload him to you, and I get my freedom, and then he comes over.
Disrespect. Oh my god.
And we go on and go.
Okay. We're talking about inches this
has
morning.
Has he met your parents though? That's all we need.
No. He's not.
So you're not really the real one.
No, not at all. Kay always always makes excuses. He's like, no, I gotta work late today.
You do laugh at his jokes when I'm just telling him about bills.
Enough.
Exactly. I'll put it to you like this: Kay still closes the door when he goes to the bathroom. Okay. And when we're together.
Okay. And I still can't get in his phone.
Exactly. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have completely diverted. Thank you, Dorian. Appreciate you, sir. Anyway, good, before we get back on the train, yeah, it's a comment of the year. So okay, before we get back on the train, and Everborn, I'm going to ask you the games you've been playing before we get to it. But
the answer is Diablo 4. That's it.
Well, we'll expound. But before we get there, let me first drop the first of the potential octets into the chat. And by the way, Mr. Everborn Saga, since you are early, since you are late, I should say, you may not have caught. Oh, it's all good, man. You're always on time. Don't worry about it. You may not have caught that. I did a little bit of the preamble, let folks know that we might have some other show topics to talk about. Status of 2024 will come later. I was telling them how our shows are. Since we're in December, we might have some limited shows, but we'll talk more about that. We'll do some housekeeping stuff about it in a little bit, including the Starfield spoiler talk. But in addition to that, we're also giving away a 3-month Game Pass Ultimate code today. So I will put the first of the code in the chat. I will hope that everybody in the chat can see it. Throughout the show, I will give you 1, 2, 3, 4 more, and then combined with that, you have your 3-month ultimate code. If you get it, all I ask is you let us know who got it. We appreciate y'all for being here. But yeah, Mr. Everborn Saga, before we move on to news, let's talk a little bit about Diablo 4, because you started getting back into it. You got me back into it. I've been playing it on the old A1 Pro. I even installed it on the Ally, you know, and the transition from console to PC, and it's talk about it, sir. Talk about it.
Well, I need to call. I don't know if this is a fraud alert. It's not. But this is a frivolous spender alert. I have actually bought Diablo 4 3 times.
Wow.
Oof.
Right. So, and this is initially I said, listen, I'm not buying this game because I know that this deal's gonna close and then it's gonna come to Game Pass. And then the EU blocked the deal. Not the EU, the CMA.
Yep.
Blocked the deal. And then I didn't think the deal was over, but I'm like, I know this has delayed things significantly. So I'm like, I'm going to buy this game.
So what you're saying is while you were advocating for people to hold the line, your resolve was shaken. So you ended up paying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I
knew the deal would go through. The question was,
when am I going to get to play it?
Game Pass for a game that I want to play.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
But it turned out that there were so many games around and coming out around that time. I bought it and didn't really end up touching it in earnest. So I could have waited. But anyway, I bought it when it first came out on Xbox. But then I was like, hey, I want to play this thing on handheld. And it wasn't out on Steam yet. So I got it on the I got it in the BattleNet store. Also full price. Right? So now I'm playing it back and forth on the RogAlly.
And then they release it on the Steam.
And wait a minute. But I didn't really care about that.
Yeah.
I didn't care about that. But I buy it on BattleNet, and I make no apologies yet. I'm like, okay, I can just pick up where I left off. This, that, and the third. Because it has cross save or cross progression, but not cross buy.
That's the whole online connected thing, right?
Right. Meanwhile, the macroeconomics majors will tell you that there was no benefits to the consumer for the Activision deal, right? If we're paying attention to the nuances, we ignore the fact that things like cross-buy or not supporting cross-buy will be a thing of the past, actually saving consumers money. That's before we get to the fact that these things will be in Game Pass, but that's not what I'm here to discuss. So I bought it twice. I was playing it. I ended up putting it down. And then I got this magical device called the Steam Deck OLED, which I don't think we've talked about that yet. Maybe we should. Maybe that's what we should talk about. That
Speak on, sir. Speak on. Yes.
So on the Black Friday sale, because I had just gotten it right before Black Friday, a couple of days before, I saw Diablo was on sale for like $39 or something like that. I'm like, oh. And it's in Steam, and I can just play it without having to
conjecture
because on the RogAlly, every time I launch Diablo, it has to start up BattleNet. It has to start up the BattleNet application. I got to do all of that. So now and again, that's the difference between the Windows UI.
Are you telling me you got sick and tired of the extra launcher? Oh no.
Yes.
There you go. You see? And I was laughed out of the room. I was laughed out of the room for saying that.
Time is money. And every time I got to go through that other launcher, that's taking time away from me. So it's costing me money. So I said, how much is my time worth? If we add up all the times I launched this game, how much am I worth an hour? Right? You have to ask yourself these questions. Right?
It doesn't take an hour to launch the damn.
But if I launch it 50 times, right?
Boom.
If I play that game 50 times, if I turn it on 50 times, you don't think it would come up to an hour?
Baby. Yep.
Right?
This is ridiculous, sir. Ridiculous.
I'm just saying, I just have to make these calculations at this stage
So
how much is my time worth?
So
anyway,
had you told me that you bought the Steam version because you don't know or want to figure out how to get Battle.net to work on Steam OS, I would have been with you.
Well,
but this whole time thing, that is ridiculous, sir. Ridiculous.
No, wait a minute. So here's where I effed up. Right? I actually did not know
that you could do
Battle.net worked on Linux because the Windows Store does not. So I can't take my Game Pass games and do this. I can't do there's no Xbox app that I could launch. True. And I thought that it was the same for Battle.net. I didn't do my research, right?
He didn't
so
talk
Kanye
to
can come up right now.
He didn't talk to Asante, you know. He didn't talk.
I've been doing the research, right?
He bent the knee for $39 for the convenience. That's it. Simple as that.
So this is my fault. I should have known. But would the Steam Deck require me to open up Battle.net every time? Because then I would have been in the same situation.
No, the way the Steam Deck works, the way that they have implemented, it would be running in the background, but you wouldn't see it. It wouldn't like pop up and then it would just kind of seamlessly happen. But yes,
yeah, because
it does take a while.
Signed out. I keep getting signed out on the RogAlly, and then it's like, oh, you got to sign back in, and then you got to launch the game, and it's just like this whole thing that takes me out of feeling like I'm playing on a handheld console and it reminds me that I'm playing on PC. So I was like, let me get it on Steam, and I needed a device to like run with the OLED screen just to see how it was, and it's great. It's honestly amazing. I love it. I'm going back and forth between the Series X and the Steam Deck OLED, and it's amazing. It feels like I got a handheld extension.
And that's kind of like what Phil, and that's kind of like what when Play Anywhere was kind of pitched so many years ago, and most gamers, because we were kind of new to this idea of gaming outside of one device, right? That's kind of like the dream that Phil sold, in that, hey, it's nice to be able to go from your Xbox to your PC. And there was, and I'm not saying that we did this on this show. I'm not saying anybody on this show did that, but I'm just saying that there were many that were criticizing. You still see that till today of that, of that hold the line movement of, no, it can only come out on your console. It shouldn't be anywhere else.
Mr. Wolf, I'm just gonna give you the face for those for you saying that it was Mrs. Spencer who introduced crossplay. Some of us have been doing this since the 90s, homie. Just put that out there.
I got you with that. But what I'm saying is just that whole shift in the Play Anywhere area. And Everborn right now, what he just explained is just that gaming bliss, Asante, that we always preach about. That it's nice to not be hunkered down to the missionary gaming life. Okay,
there he goes
not
again.
like it's not like Everborn wants to play Diablo. He's stuck to having to do so on front of his big screen TV on his Xbox, and he has no other choice but to do that.
No, you're right on that. Although I will once again say there's no missionary slander here. Come on.
So missionary is great. I don't know.
I mean, what are you talking about? Continue.
Telling you, man.
What are we
Put
doing?
the legs around your shoulders.
Stop.
It's amazing.
Stop.
Okay, forget it. All right.
Spice it up a bit, though.
What are we doing this morning?
If you've had to split,
what are we doing this morning?
Forget it. That's not what we came to talk about. Okay. The point that I'm making is what I appreciate about the Steam Deck experience, and paired with Xbox, that I am having, and I don't know if, because I sign into Battle.net with my Xbox account, if I get an achievement on Steam, if it translates to I don't know.
It might. You're right.
I don't know that. I need someone to.
No, you're right. It might, because since the game progresses, right? Since the game progresses, if you then load it up on the Xbox, all the places you've gone and all the experiences you've had and the benchmarks have already been hit. So it'll just pop all your achievements.
But I also think it's tracking my time separately.
It is.
It is.
And I can.
It only looks like I've played like 16 hours on Xbox. But that's not true.
So just to answer this question, because I've actually had some experience with this. Like for Halo Master Chief Collection, I remember that when I bought it on Steam, and I played it for the first time, all the achievements that I had gotten on Xbox previously just popped automatically.
Yes.
Now, what was different was exactly what Everborn says, and that's the tracking of time. It
yes.
does track the time differently, and there's actually an app, a website, Kate, which we can show off on Monday. It's called Exophase that will kind of track all of your gaming profiles that you put in it separately, and that actually highlights the fact that those times are kind of judged differently.
Okay. GOG Galaxy does that too. But continue. Yeah.
But what I appreciate about the experience that like I don't appreciate as much on the RogAlly, like you can get by, but to me, when I'm playing on the Xbox on the TV and I go straight and pick up exactly where I left off on the Steam Deck with that UI, it just feels like the ecosystem is getting out of the way.
Yep.
Now, I know I had to buy the game twice to do this, and we're in two separate things, but everything is just getting out of the way. I just hit the A button and go.
Yep.
Right? Whether it's on the Xbox or on the Steam Deck for what they've done with the UI there. And all I am asking as a day one Xbox customer, I would love it if you made a console straight up, but I'm not asking for that. I just want Windows to get the F out of the way, and I want them to give us an experience so that I can take my stuff on the go and not think about it. And that's what I'm doing on the Steam Deck.
Ladies and gentlemen, Xbox. Mission accomplished.
I don't think it's too much. I do not think it's too much to ask for a version of Windows or an Xbox OS or something that is gonna get Windows out of my face and just let me focus on the content. That's what they say the vision is.
I feel
that's what the vision is,
guys.
But they're not delivering on that right.
Mission
Let
accomplished.
me say something.
Wait, hold on. Mission accomplished. I have to say.
He thinks he red-pilled me, but he hasn't.
No, I definitely have, because I have receipts, digital receipts from people who are in this chat who remember him speaking the polar opposite when I was like, hey, the Steam Deck OS gives you that feeling, even though we all want the Windows. He was such a hater. He had to get the RogAlly because Windows.
Let me give a little bit of pushback.
And now all of a sudden,
revisionist history, but it's okay.
I just have one last question. I have one last thing I favor to ask, and I will let you speak, Mr. John Wolf. I need you to move your camera a little bit to the left, Mr. Everborn Saga, so we see the gay bucks. I just want to see it. Just the bag. I just want to see the gay bucks. Where's the bag? You know, I'm sorry. Go
hang in the closet back there.
Go ahead, John.
So let me ask you a question, Everborn, because again, having all the devices and played with like you have with the Steam Deck and the RogAlly and the Xbox, etc. Did you go from launching Diablo when you had it owned on Battle.net through Armory Crate to try to give you that same experience?
Yes,
and you still found it as a hindrance.
Launching it in Armory Crate still brings up the Battle.net.
Because it's just a desktop.
Episode.
It's just a desktop UI that then launches the application that then launches the game. Because Steam OS works differently. It doesn't launch and then launch. It's just within there.
So what you would like, right, as a consumer, as the person using the devices, you don't want to see what's happening like you do on PC. You just want like a screenshot of the game.
He wants to hit
whatever's
play,
happening in the background is happening.
Yes, he wants to hit play and then it plays. Now, there's a way to get
That's
that
none
on
of my
Ally.
business. I don't. And by the way, I see Lucius Augustus saying he's a hater of Windows. I love Windows. I hate the Mac. It's just that I love Windows for work.
Yes.
I don't want to see Windows when I'm trying to relax.
But there's a way to get that in Windows too. Like the hater, the issues you have, I hear them. And remember, I spoke about those issues in the beginning. There is a solve for it in the short term, but it's annoying. You literally have to set it up. Let me explain. Real quick.
I know what you're gonna say. Big box. All that.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. All you need to do to make this not be a problem for you, right? You want to launch it from inside Armory Crate and just have it launch, no issues. All you have to do is make sure every single launcher that you have in your Ally is set to auto run when Windows starts and set to minimize. So it starts up with Windows and then minimizes in your tray. And it's just there the whole time. Does it waste resources? Yes, it does. But as soon as you hit a game, it loads. No launcher loading. Any game you launch, boom, boom, boom. You'll never see any launcher because it's just there.
But it doesn't work that seamless, and that's how I have Battle.net set up. I have it to not do that. But when I click on Diablo, it still brings it up and then says, do you want to play Diablo? So it still brings up the Battle.net UI. It's just, listen, these are small gripes.
Yeah, they're table stakes. They're table stakes.
The experience is night and day. And Fudzilla in the chat says, I'm asking for a console experience on a PC. No, I am not, sir. I'm asking for a console experience on a handheld. That is what I'm at.
And you know what? I will defend Mr. Everborn Saga here because what he's asking for, Steam has accomplished. There's no reason why Windows can't, right? Because Steam, with the Steam Deck, you have a full-fledged Linux operating system PC there with a front-end shell that gets accessed only if you want it, right? So if you want that single console-like experience, you hit the button, you're off to the races. You want to be full Linux operating system, as you know, right? You can go in there and do whatever you need to do.
But when you want to do that.
When you want to do that,
that's
exactly.
Different.
Like right now in the Windows world, we can do that by DIYing our way through. We're replacing the desktop shell with other shells in order to remove that element. But that can easily be done and in far more stable way by Microsoft, right? They put the Xbox UI in front of Windows and it only brings the desktop UI when you choose it, just like Steam. It is possible. That's all we're asking.
I will say though, Kay, because me and you have had this conversation on Gamers Playground. Gamers Playground. I will say that for newer players that are not accustomed to the PC world, and even for me, it was a little bit off-putting. I'm used to it by now, but it was a little bit off-putting of having to go through so many launchers just to get into your game. And I'm not saying that it's a deal breaker, that it's but when you're kind of used to gaming all of your life on one set device that just you press A and it works, and then you're in a reality where to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, now I have to remember that I have to go to Ubisoft Connect and I can't just launch it directly.
There's another layer to that, which is when I'm on the big PC with my 47-inch monitor and my mouse and keyboard, it's a lot less annoying to say, hey, I need to go to GOG for this one. I need to go to Battle.net for that one. I need to go to Ubisoft launcher, which I've never installed on my machine, or an EA launcher. But I need to go to those things. You
have those things installed because it auto installs them when you install Game Pass. But continue. It installs the EA and it installs UB Connect just by installing Game Pass.
And to give Valve...
But my point is, doing that on a PC with a mouse and keyboard is less of a hassle and an ask. When you are on a handheld, these things are just not intuitively designed for that because they weren't designed with that in mind.
Yes.
And so I'm just asking, like, when you are the biggest, you have literally a monopoly on OSs. Why is the little guy Valve outdoing you in user experience?
Don't let Lena Khan hear you say that.
Stop it.
That's true.
So I hear you, and you're absolutely right. We've been advocating for that. I think you and I are on the same page when it comes to they need to. And I know there are the proponents of the actual put the Xbox UI, put the Xbox OS on a handheld. I get all that. But there's a middle ground that they can make, and we know it's doable because in the DIY space, people are doing it in unstable ways, but it's still doable, right? And they can take it further and actually make it clean and seamless, and we're hoping for that, right? So if you want, you just boot up that, it does what it needs to do, and you still have all of the power that Windows offers. Go ahead.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, your Xbox and your Windows machine are both running a Windows kernel.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they have two different shells, right? But I don't think it is too large of an ask to say the gaming mode has this shell, and when you get out of the gaming mode, you are in the Windows shell.
Yes. And by the way,
I don't think that's a horrible thing.
They've done that before. If you guys remember, there used to be a Surface device that you could buy that
with the tablet mode.
Yes. Well, not only that, even It also
you're
came
right.
with a mode that you didn't want to play for the full OS. All you had was the game store, right? So you boot it up, it would only load what's in the game store. If you want the full-fledged Windows operating system experience, you would then pay $50 extra to unlock that. And then you have the full situation. They did it behind a paywall, but
Have
they
you
can
guys
still do
tried
that.
the new? Have you guys tried the new compact mode update that they released?
Oh yeah, yes.
For the handheld.
So
Yes.
here's my problem, and I actually talked to Jason Ronald about this, right? Great start, compact mode. I get it.
Yep.
But if we're saying compact mode is for handheld, why don't they support gestures, right?
Yep.
So instinctively, right? If I'm
You
on
just
this
wanna
handheld
scroll.
device,
Yep.
right? And all of the menus in the Xbox app, they scroll horizontally,
Yep.
right?
But you can't scroll.
Right?
Yeah.
So I can flick to go vertically, right? But anything that's like, oh, show more, it's treating my touches like a mouse
Like
click.
mouse
input.
clicks, yes.
And so that's a thing they have to work on. And there's an issue with the controller navigation in that app. I don't care what anybody will tell you.
No, you're right.
Yes, the controller navigation works, but because of the way it's laid out, when you go from one menu to the next, you have no idea.
You have to touch the
what your
screen for it
highlighted
to
item
find
is
out
gonna
where
be.
it is. Yeah.
Right. And then you can be in dead zone. So you can be like, it'll go someplace and it's on some arrow that you can't move anywhere but back to where you came from. And so now it feels like it's not responding to the controller, but you're actually in a dead zone and you have to go backwards and then come forwards and then go down. And it's not an intuitive experience for the, what do you call it, control? And you don't have like shoulder menu changes, things like that. It is not. It is designed for mouse and keyboard, and the layout of the app does not really work for.
It's low-hanging
fruit.
I actually tweeted at Jason back when he was talking about it, and I said, you know what would be nice in the meantime, in the interim, if you guys can release a big picture mode of Game Pass, because I think that'll go a long way. If they release like the same way that the Steam Deck, what you're basically running is Steam Big Picture mode, right? For them to have their own version of that big picture mode, and maybe you can even ask your device to log directly into that mode so that you never see windows. And I think that's not the silver bullet, but I think that can go a long way.
That's exactly what we're asking. Yes.
One other thing that I'll add, and I don't know how much of this tech, or I don't even know if it's tech talk, it's more like UI.
Oh no, we're just
but,
chopping up before we get to the news.
And I'm forewarning everyone, we have a block today to talk about the Cybertruck.
Oh boy,
we'll save it for later. So the app is still really mouse and keyboard designed, and it works well for that. Compact mode is a step in the right direction, and I applaud them for that, but they're gonna have to keep going. They're gonna have to take it a lot further. And the question is, does Windows 12 have a dedicated game mode, or are they gonna do all their work basically in the Xbox app, and that's just what you'll have to deal with, or where they do real gaming enhancements to the next version of Windows?
Based on some conversations that Phil Spencer has been having, and you hearing a lot in Brazil today, we're gonna get into that. It sounds like you're talking about Windows 12. Like I think even Jez asked him point blank, and he gave a really interesting answer. We don't know yet, but it seems like all the benefits and all the work they're doing here will benefit 12, and there will be more of a dedicated, because they're seeing the excitement in that space, and the fact that everybody's using their device, their operating system as a backbone. So
here's some, and I know it's like they're trying to make a U-turn in a cruise liner inside of a bathroom tub, right? I get it. They're a big company. It's hard to make these shifts like that. My concern is with the strides that Linux is making.
Oh,
right? With the strides that Valve is making. What I don't want to happen is they're so busy trying to fixing to get ready, as I call it, right?
They missed the train.
That they could miss this train.
Yes,
right?
and they've missed it multiple times, right? Same thing they did in the mobile world. They missed the train. Yes. Yep.
So this I need them to, like, these are basic things, right? It's not like Microsoft doesn't have a great set of touch drivers, right?
So Everborn, what you're basically trying to say, and your message to them is that if they're not fast enough to this market, we can see a RogAlly 2, a Lenovo Go 2 with the Steam operating system. And that's what you think that we may be looking at here if they kind of don't get their ducks in a row fast enough.
You still need these Windows devices for certain things, right? So so there is that aspect of it.
Hold on, real quick. What he is saying bears thinking about, because
no, yes, 1000%, because Steam will release that OS.
Well,
they're
here's the
working
thing.
on it.
And when they do, it won't cost ASUS anything, even though it still costs ASUS a license when you run on Windows.
Yeah,
so you're right on that. Because that's an open source OS.
I would argue that with ASUS, they're probably getting money from Microsoft.
Oh yeah. It's a back and forth, but there is a cost to using Windows. Whether you like it or you don't, there's a cost to using Windows as a manufacturer. Whereas when Valve gets into the mix, they'll be like, reference design, everybody gets to use it. So it's that point. Actually.
The way the licensing works, and they did this in the Windows 8
they did drop it to the 7 or
inches
lower screen
and under.
Yeah.
I think it's 8 inches and under. You don't pay that licensing fee.
Yeah, you're right. So that may change that. Okay.
But I kind of get where you're coming from, because if Valve and Proton can figure out all their shortcomings faster than Microsoft can to launch a full dedicated handheld experience, we could live in a world where companies like ASUS prefer just to put the Steam OS on there, and Microsoft again falls behind like they did with the mobile space, like they did in so many other.
For you guys,
so
I understand who are complaining. So John, for you guys who are complaining about launchers, that is unfortunately or fortunately your potential solution. Proton obscures all that. So if you're running Windows, it just launches Windows and this and that, and you're running. Proton, they always end up, and that's happened multiple times, where before Ubisoft Connect demanded that you run their UI before it runs, right? Even within Steam. What did they do? They put something in Proton that then bypassed that. So now it launches straight into the game. That could be how you get all your different games without having launchers pop everywhere.
Let me ask you a question, right? And I don't know about this emulation stuff, so I'm a little ignorant on this. Like, I've done
translation layers,
WP development, I've done whatever. Is there a way that one day Proton could also emulate UWP?
Oh, is it possible? Of course it is, but it would require a lot of effort, and UWP is kind of a dead language at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it would require people putting effort in as if it was alive, and you'd need to continue supporting it. Even in Windows land right now, the only time they're dealing with UWP is when you're playing a game like Quantum Break.
Emulation is the wrong word.
It's
translation.
But
you know what I mean?
Layers. Yeah, translation layers.
I agree with Lucius Augustus when he says if Valve can work with Apex and COD to fix the anti-cheat, it's over for for Windows handhelds. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not completely over, but I think that the aggressive nature of Valve with the pricing of their Steam Deck, and that they can say, hey, you can play Call of Duty, Destiny, you can play all the big hitters on our device, it's gonna be a huge barrier to jump for the ASUSes of the world coming in at $700.
So to that point, and I'm agreeing with Lucius, and I'm agreeing with you, if you can turn Everborn I only play on consoles to Everborn Agnostic Saga because of the Steam Deck, now OLED, there's something going.
He had to throw that in there.
Yeah, hey, he's Mr. Agnostic Saga right now. You know what I'm saying?
Let me stop you right there, sir.
They doing something. Is what I'm saying.
I got the RogAlly as my extension to Xbox, right? And I've said this many times. Steam games I play on the deck, and Game Pass games I play on the Ally when I want to be on the go. That being said, I find myself gravitating towards the Steam Deck more, especially with those games that have cross-buy. So, for example, a cross progression. For example, just before this handheld thing was a thing, I owned Cyberpunk on both Steam and Xbox. And now that they support cross progression, that may be the next game that I just pick up and go right between the two. Right? And so,
as I said, Everborn agnostic saga. I'm just saying.
My point is, I don't want to think about these things, and Valve's implementation of all this allows me to not think about it. Press the button, go,
and it goes.
Things update in the background. It's doing it in the background.
It's a playbook. It's a playbook out of Apple. It's a playbook out of Apple where they just press the button and go. It just works.
The only pushback I'll give there is it just works because they lock everything down. This just works because they spent the time to keep it open while still giving you the righteous UI, right?
That is true, but I'm talking about. But I'm just talking about from the user. Yeah, no, but I'm just talking about the user experience, what the user sees, and for the user to do what they want, it just works and it's simple. There's no figuring out anything. You just press it and it goes.
Oh, so wait a minute.
Floodzilla's in the chat.
Talk to me, sir.
He has. There are lots of applications on that side that translate Windows apps more natively. I haven't tried this one. Flood, I'm gonna have to hit you up in the DMs and we'll talk about it, sir.
But wait a minute, is that cloud though? Because that's not what we're talking about. We want native.
No. Right? I mean, cloud. You can do Greenlight, which then does cloud, right? But he's talking about a wrapper that then allows the application to then be launchable within the Linux operating system. So we have to talk about that one.
No. He said no. He says it is cloud. It is cloud.
Oh, it is cloud. It is cloud.
So I have that set up, and I finally jumped into the Decky loader, so I'm doing all those.
Okay, hey, there you go. He's getting PC amount over here. All right,
man. I see so many comments in the chat talking about 9 inches, 8 inch. I think the show's gonna have to be sponsored by Magnum.
Stop.
Yo. Maybe we can get a Manscaped sponsorship going. Anyway, so
the Magnum sponsorship.
I'm sorry. You want to play in this world. You see this world is going to take off. It will get defined without you, and you're going to miss another market because you are so This is the thing, right? Microsoft can suffer from what I call Excelitis, right? So the spreadsheets are saying we don't have enough data to show this thing is viable, so we're not gonna put all the dollars and cents into it because we don't have data showing that it works. But you don't have data showing that it works because it's a new thing. It's a new sea change. So the data wouldn't be there. You have to use at least some instincts to show, hey, this is where things are gonna go. And the amount of excitement and coverage around this thing just tells you it's right there on the cusp, and they could be at the center of it. And I wonder if they're just taking for granted that everyone games on desktop, so they don't have to move with any sort of like real speed, right?
Yeah.
And because let me ask you a question: what happens? Right, and this is not going to take anything for Apple to do, right? What happens if Apple says we're going to make a controller? That's it, just a controller.
Then they have a console, because then they can just attach it to say the set-top box they have,
the Apple TV.
Apple TV, or when you want to play 25 frames per second on Resident Evil, you can connect it there and plug it to your TV.
They do,
and there you go.
But even though that they do have, and I see where you're going with this, Everborn, and I agree with you. But the only pushback I'll give you with Apple that me and Kay have had this conversation before. Their biggest hurdle that they need to jump is that they need to show consistently and show the consumer that yes, we will have day and date games on iTunes as well, or whatever, or on the App Store. Sorry, iTunes. I'm still living in like 5 years ago. So you still they need to prove that, because right now the majority of their consumer base is used to either playing free to play or paying 99 cents for their games. And now you're asking for $69.99 a pop. I don't know how that's going to go over for them.
I would say the majority of their consumers are on Apple Arcade, as we've discussed before. So
that's true. That's a good point.
But you know what? We have a lot to discuss, and we'll move on. I have two things before we do that. One, you guys didn't discuss one last piece of that integration between console and handheld that has been plaguing me, but I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about it, which is when you're playing it on your console, when you're playing it on your PC, and maybe you're not having this problem, Everborn, because you're going from Xbox as your main and then handheld as you're on the go. I'm going from my PC as my main and then my handheld on the go sometimes. And
well,
then
I did Xbox. I did Xbox to PC for Starfield. I didn't do any handheld in Starfield, but I did it with PC.
So the issue that I have is sometimes, like for example, I'm playing Robocop Rogue City, right? You're playing on your PC, you got the bells and whistles all blown out. It's amazing. You know, all the ray tracing and all that. The minute you go to a handheld, doesn't matter which handheld it is, slow to a crawl, because it doesn't remember that you're also playing on the handheld. Now you gotta wait in between the 2 frames per second to go to settings and drop everything to low. They don't remember
I know what you're talking about
individually, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of games
needs to be solved.
You're right. Hey, there's a lot of games that want to, for the convenience, like they kind of overthought it. They kind of overthink it, and they think that you're only going to go back to that one device every single time.
Yes, and that's a problem. That in a world where we have handheld devices and consoles and this and that, people, they need to solve for that. Microsoft, you can only play this game offline on X amount of devices. Do you know how many times I've already hit that snag where I have multiple handhelds and now I can't play offline? You know.
A quick aside.
Go ahead. Yes.
Libara X is saying Fallout TV.
Yes, and you know what?
Should we live watch that? Should we live react?
No, we should not live watch that because they probably will give us a takedown notice. But I appreciate he's saying that. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if that's true.
I appreciate he's saying that, because the first thing I was going to do after we discuss what we are discussing was to first say thank everybody once again for being here. Secondly, ask y'all to hit the like button if you haven't done so. And thirdly, transition to the news, where the first thing we were going to talk about was our On the Real Minute and show off a little bit of these.
So in terms of fair use, we are
absolutely
show.
We can do it. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to block us, and we're going to have to fight the good fight until they go, oh yeah, you're right. But I don't feel like dealing with it.
I don't know if they will, though, because they want people live streaming the trailer. They want people doing the reaction videos.
Okay, well, you know what? You send me the link, and I'll think about putting it on the stream. How about that? But needless to say,
will we get away with this?
Hey, if we don't, you'll hear about it. Don't worry about it. It's cool. It's cool. I will say, please, if you haven't hit the like button, please consider doing so. We're about 72 likes with 172 people in here. Come on now, y'all can hit some like buttons.
I can predict what IGN is going to give the trailer a 7 out of 10.
Oh, stop it. I knew you were going to go there, bro. I knew you were going to go there. But while we wait for the trailer,
waiting for the first headline that says it's no Last of Us.
Of course. Let me put the second part of our giveaway in the chat right now. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to check it out. I put the first part in there. I'm going to put the second part in there in a minute. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are giving away 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. If you are in the chat, I've already put the first one in there. I will. Here's the second one that's in there now. I will review when it's all said and done, and you'll see all of them. But there's the second one. And at the end, you will have a 3-month Game Pass Ultimate code. So hopefully you are able to partake in that and you get it. Speaking of that, Mr. Everborn Saga, we did have conversations of potential other giveaways as we're heading towards the end of the year. Do we want to talk about that, or do we want to save that for another time, sir?
I do want to talk about it, but I'm trying to think of where's the best place to announce it. So let's figure that out.
Let's
and
table that for now
and decide where we're gonna announce it.
Okay.
By this weekend.
Okay.
I mean, maybe we should do it here. I don't know. I'm thinking about where do we? I want to do it where we have the most like reach. So right, because if we announce it on X, we can get a lot of people that are not subscribers to maybe come and check it out, and we can grow.
So for the audience that's here, I think you should talk to them, and then we'll announce it on X. But for the audience that's here, who's listening,
okay, all right. So for the day ones, we are giving away a Series X.
Boom!
Why are we giving away a Series X? Nice. Because I was smart enough to grab one on that $349 deal that is no longer available. So I didn't really need one because I have 2 of them already. And I was going to because I got one in, I had one in the living room and in my bedroom, and I moved my living room one to the office. And so now I'm like, let me get another one for the living room, but I don't really need that. So we will be giving away a Series X to people who are subscribed to the channel.
That's the one that has Diablo 4, right? The Diablo 4 code?
No, I didn't get the one with Diablo 4.
Oh, okay.
Diablo 4. Because I got it on Prime, where they had it available just like that for next day. And it was like 10 minutes, and they were like, oh, crap, what are we doing? I think they were trying to price match Walmart.
Yeah.
But now if you try to get it on Amazon, it's $4.49. So anyway. But whoa. Did somebody throw a chat for 1 month free Game Pass?
Yes, he did. Mr. Joy in the Dark. I just put it on there for a little while. Thank you, good sir.
All right.
Mr. Joy in the Dark.
Pragmatic Eagle says, why do y'all care about what? What do we care about? Or why?
Probably the Fallout trailer, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure. Please expound.
Okay. but anyway. So I want to announce it on X, and I want people to come subscribe to the channel, and then you don't have to be a new subscriber. Obviously, you guys are all eligible who are in the chat now.
Absolutely.
But we want to use it as an opportunity to grow. So this is going to be our Christmas gift to the community. And we're going to choose someone at random, and Kaysan will figure out how the choosing goes.
Well, yeah, we'll figure all that out. Absolutely. But yes, so that's going to be our Christmas present. We have a lot more stuff we're running around in the background trying to get done. 2024 will be an interesting year. Mr. Everborn Saga, you weren't here when Gerald Mack was continuing to put the boot on our neck. He screamed in all caps, he still needs that GCP emoji. We're working on that. We're working on that.
So we do want to do like a state of GCP and a future plans show. We may pre-record that just to talk about everything we want to do next year, and that'll talk about Patreons, it'll talk about memberships, it'll talk about emotes and stores and websites and things like that.
All that stuff.
So
charge them more.
Absolutely. I want to charge everybody more. I want to use what I got to get what I want. No.
Wow. Okay.
But all I have is my degrees. No. But so we will talk about all that, but we are going to do an Xbox Series X giveaway on Christmas.
Absolutely.
So that was that thing.
Yeah. Excellent.
The trailer's out. What are we doing with ourselves?
Show me the trailer. Give me the trailer. I'll
just
put it
search for Fallout on YouTube. What do you mean?
I'm literally searching for Fallout on YouTube, and all I'm getting are a bunch of people talking about a trailer, but not actually the trailer itself. Oh, okay. Now I got it. Well, no. This one says 11 months ago, so it can't be the one. I have nothing from today.
All right.
Yeah. So hit me with that trailer, and we will play it. But in the meantime, I know you want to talk about it. So real quick, because we talked about it a little bit before, you said you want to talk about the Cybertruck?
I do want to talk about the Cybertruck.
What
I'm very excited about the Cybertruck. I have one on order.
I never pictured you as a pickup guy. I don't know.
But I first of all, we have to get we have to get supplies for the business or whatever, and we usually have to take 2 cars. And I'm gonna buy this as a business tool or whatever.
AKA Mr. Everborn Saga is buying his wife a bowling ball. Thank you, Fred Flintstone. Good job. Good job.
Hey,
good job.
What do you want me to tell you? No, she listen, man. She
down.
She does the pickups and the drop offs. So she got the Model Y, but we got to do like supply runs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
supply runs that require bulletproof cars.
You never know, man. You never know. The daycare business is rough. These streets. No, but we do have.
So the trailer's up. You want to watch it?
The trailer's up. I think we should watch it.
With sound or without sound?
I think we should watch it with sound, and we should do the live reaction phase.
Now, the thing is, I may not be able to put sound in y'all ears, but I can put sound in the ears of the consumer. So we'll have to see how this goes.
Okay, wait a minute. Send me the link. I'm gonna watch it from here, and we'll press play at the same time.
All right, so I'll put it in the Inner Circle DM for those who know the Inner Circle DM.
Let's do it.
And then I'll post it there, and then y'all can just hit play at the same time, and we will catch this live together. Hold on, let me see and make sure that the audience can hear this trailer real quick. Yep, they can absolutely. So when you guys are ready, you let me know, and hopefully this does not get demonetized. How about you, Mr.
Wait a minute. Maybe I'm in the wrong chat. So
the inner circle.
Okay, I got it. I got you. Okay, open app. Doesn't want to open the app.
And oh, by the way, while we wait and talk about this, I will also say, for those who want, Master Cheeks season 1 free on YouTube, the whole season, if you want to watch that. I don't know why.
It's not as bad as people make it out to be.
You know,
it
I
was
can't
a
stop
decent
laughing.
show.
But everybody's like, just they love dumping on it. But yeah, if you want to hear about, if you want to be about it, you don't even need a Paramount Plus subscription anymore. You can watch it.
I'll cap for the show. I liked it.
Master Cheeks is out there. You can see his cheeks if you choose to.
The YouTube search is,
bro, it's right in the inner. I just posted.
No,
it.
I understand that.
But you can't find it.
No, it's not that. Like, I'm on the iPad and it's being real stupid. So let me go on the PC.
Well,
No, like, because when you click to open app, it doesn't work, and then when you go into YouTube itself and search for it, it just doesn't show up.
See, what, Lucius, if you say it like that, it sounds far worse.
Dude, but that's exactly what happened on the show.
Lucius Augustus says, Master Chief having sex with a prisoner of war in her cell is crazy. On that,
he showed her that warthog.
Wow. Okay. No. What are you doing? What is that? Okay.
Right, let's see.
This savagery. Okay.
All right. So
Everborn Saga finding it difficult to hit play on a YouTube stream.
It's not that. It's to blame the iPad, man. And why is YouTube's search algorithm so
Let me ask you this question, K Asante, while Everborn figures out the technical.
I got it. I found it.
I'm just challenged. If you watched through season 1 of the Halo TV series, do you think that they're gonna take that criticism and carry that into season 2? Because if you know how the show ended, it is that stoic Master Chief that ended that show. So
I'm just worried about how bad the CG was.
I will tell you, like, for sure, I will be stunned if season 2 is anything like 1. They fired everybody. Writers, directors, everybody. And then season 2 is still coming, which means they took the criticism to heart. And if you look at the very last episode, they basically kind of retconned the whole thing. It ended where it started, and now it can actually get to what you want, seemingly. We shall see if season 2 provides what we're looking for.
Yeah, the last episode is basically Master Chief from the games.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
You know.
Yes. Are you ready, Mr. Everborn Side?
I am ready. So
okay.
We'll do
ready?
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Audience, if you can't hear it well, please let us know.
I know that I've lived a relatively comfortable life.
Stop! Lucy!
You need to go home. Vault dwellers are an endangered species. I do not think you would be willing to do what it takes to survive up here.
Can you guys hear it?
If you insist on staying,
Anybody? Nobody?
then you will have to adapt.
Watch it by
Okay.
yourself.
This is super weird. Okay.
CG's looking pretty good on it.
Better than Master Chief's show. Better than him. That's my
And it took Amazon to make it happen.
Tomorrow, so they say, will be a lovely day. A bright new sun will suddenly break through.
All right.
But I don't want to see tomorrow
I didn't know Red Skull was in there.
unless I
Well
see
done.
it with you.
Yes.
Nice.
You had me at Goggins, bro. You had me at Goggins.
I grabbed a moldy one.
Oh, this looks good.
Yeah, this looks really good. That girl literally had a fork in her eye. Nice. Got a little T2 atomic bomb action there. It's always a good thing.
April 12th.
So, gentlemen, first thoughts.
Send Halo over to Amazon. That's my first thought.
Ah, it looked good. It looked good. The CGI looks, looks really good. The story elements looks like they're gonna be there. I'm interested. I'll definitely be watching.
My first thoughts. Somebody took the musical drums and the wonderful drums of a Black Panther series, because literally that's what you hear in the background. Drums, the exact Black Panther drums. Yes, but the whole thing.
I didn't have audio for the first half, but
I told you, like you should. Well, you couldn't get it locally on your side.
So, no, I got it working by the end. It's just that Windows was a different audio output than this thing.
I get you.
Anyway, someone says Paramount doesn't know what they're doing. Speaking of Paramount, have you guys heard that Paramount is in talks with Apple to merge their streaming services?
Wow,
that's interesting.
It's not an acquisition, but they want to basically license all of the Paramount content to Apple.
Into Apple.
Yeah.
Now that is interesting. Whoa, that deserves an on the real conversation, sir. Like, I would love to see where all of that goes. Wow, that is interesting. Okay. Okay. But yes, so we're seeing this. I will say the quality level is really, really good to the Fallout TV show. I will also say it looks like they took the source material pretty seriously, right? The tongue-in-cheek nature, the humor. They're really, really, like, first blush, it looks interesting. Go ahead, everyone.
What I want to know, because I don't think I've ever played a Fallout game.
Oh my God, here he goes again.
I make no apologies. People who are people who know the Fallout lore, what do you guys think?
I know the Fallout lore, and I think it's pretty good. Like, so far, it's pretty dang good. And oh, by the way, YouTube just gave me heads up, warning. we've detected your video is streaming another stream that belongs to someone else. So there you go. Yeah.
I will tell you, it looks like the source material is represented in a good way here.
Yeah.
And, you know, and obviously it's not going to be beat for beat as the storylines and the story and, you know, all that of the game, but it's a good representation. And at the end of the day, I think that's really what we want.
And of course, Mr. Slovo Backslap says, you ain't missed much, man. Don't worry. You haven't played any of the Fallouts. You haven't missed much. So there you go. But okay,
I'm just glad Red Skull is getting some more love. You know, everyone.
Bro, they had me at Walter Goggins. Okay, one of my favorite, and I guess this will be on the real minute. One of my favorite shows of all time, The Shield. All time. That show is beyond reproach to me. I'm a digital dude. I don't keep physicals of anything. I still have that Blu-ray box set. Actually, HD DVD, DVD box set, old school, because they haven't sold a newer version of it. I
actually saw an HD DVD player in my cousin's house the other day. I started cracking up when I saw the red. Remember the red cases?
Yeah, I have the Xbox attachment in my garage still to this.
He still has King Kong.
I do. I have still King Kong and a few others. But yes, Goggins is amazing. He has always been amazing, and he's always amazing as the bad guy. So I'm there. I'm 100% there. Everborn Saga, what are your thoughts? I know you don't have the lore in the background, but it looks like this thing is taking it seriously and all of that.
Who is behind the show? Like what else they've worked on?
I mean, this is the Nolan's brother. This is Nolan's brother.
Jonathan Nolan.
Yeah, hold on. Let me like I saw it, like they showed it on the screen. This is Nolan's brother doing this. So I mean, the pedigree is Jonathan Nolan. Like it's right there. The pedigree's on display, sir. It's there you go.
Interesting.
You know, the man Westworld alone. I'm like, all right, sign me up. You
know? Whoa.
It got sad. It got a little after a while, but
Westworld
the man knows
a little bit left.
the man knows how to put a vision on a screen. He does, and Westworld did that.
What are the chances for a Todd Howard cameo, guys?
I'd say pretty good.
I'm gonna go with 99%.
Yeah, I'd say pretty good. He's probably a dude that gets killed off somewhere or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be pretty good. But all right.
And Pete Hines is the guy that they kind of outcast, right, from the little community.
Slow-Mo says Westworld season 1 was good. I would give them season 1 and 2.
And 2, yeah.
And then 3 was not great, but it wasn't terrible. And then it was all garbage.
And then it went like that. Yeah, but it looked great.
But 1 and 2 is what I would give.
Yeah. You know, so, and they have a pretty decent source material, so we'll see how it's translated, but it looks good to me. It looks good to me. All right, shall we move forward?
It's a pretty stupid premise, and they made something super interesting.
Yes.
To go
well,
on.
It's a pretty stupid premise with a small amount of content, right? It's only one small, and they blew it out to something really bigger. So, you know, yes. The OG was fun. Anyway. I enjoyed that. Anyway, all right. So let us move forward. Let's move forward because I feel like we have a lot of stories to get to, and we're already we're already some time in. We're about an hour and a half in. We'll see how concise we can make this, but let's first and foremost, let's start talking about all the stuff that hit Game Pass, because I feel like it's telling a story, right? It's telling a story. So let's start there, and I will start with you, Mr. John Wolf. I'm sure you saw this as I did, right? There are many a AAA game among this mix, as well as an eclectic mix of indies and unknown titles that people aren't aware of. But there is one very, very, very interesting thing that brings all of these games together, and I will leave you, sir, to expound on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the big hitters, obviously, Remnant 2 and Remnant 1. I think that shadow drop kind of surprised everyone. Excuse me. And what else can you say?
But John, it's not a shadow drop because the game has been out for 6 months.
Yeah, and I also heard somewhere that, you know, it's just, why would they do this when there's so many games to play, right? Why would they release a game like this in a service that you're paying for, that their job is to release games for you to play? But whatever. So it just goes to show that the
almost
value.
like a disservice to the game because they didn't give it any fanfare, John.
Yeah, I know. It's a travesty what Xbox is doing here. and
Everborn, what
shame
you're
on
doing
them.
there, I don't appreciate. But continue.
Shame on Xbox for for actually giving you value on a service that you pay a monthly subscription for. Who would have thought that that's but it just goes to show, guys, look, we've and what I consider to be gamers that I identify with, that I that we can have these types of conversations and debate about. It just goes to show that how this service has come along in since its inception, of where it started as, hey, we're gonna put what we can in there, to now we're gonna drop something on you out of nowhere that's just gonna blow your socks off that you didn't even see coming. And that's
John, what if I just bought it on PS5? Now I'm finding out it's in a subscription service.
Yeah, for that I say too bad. You know what I'm saying? And another thing,
We call that the Everborn Saga problem. The minute he buys it, it's on a subscription service.
Here's another narrative that I saw, because this has been the week of narratives and twisting things to fit your narrative, and check this one out now. I also heard that Xbox is training its consumers not to buy games because, hey, just wait for it to shadow drop on Game Pass. It absolutely ridiculous. I have never, not one time, have I ever wanted something and not bought it because, hey, you know what? It might come out later on this or whatever the case. I haven't done that. Me, myself, if I want a game, I'm just going to buy it. I'm just going to play it. And I think that 99.9% of consumers are going to do the same. You know what I'm saying?
Can I push back just slightly?
Go ahead,
sure.
yes.
I want
I was going
to
to as
color
well.
everything.
Continue.
I want you to color everything what I'm saying with I rarely ever take my own advice.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
But is it so wrong of you, who worked hard for your own goddamn money, to say, you know what? I hope this thing does come to a subscription service. I don't need to throw these corporations
Absolutely
my $60 or $70 right away. Let me hold off a little bit and see if it comes to this service that I'm already paying for, because it is in fact your money.
Absolutely not.
So wrong with that?
Absolutely
Slow-mo.
not. And here's a strange word that people for some reason kind of forget, that there's such a thing as choice. And I think that people forget what that means. The gaming space as a consumer it has room for the FOMO boys, for the day one boys, right? That we don't want to wait for the game to drop potentially on Game Pass because we want to play it then and there. Then if you want that, you need to pay for that. And there's also room for, I want to save my bucks and maybe it'll come to Game Pass. And if it doesn't in 6 months, then I'll fork it over and I'll just wait and see. Why can't there be room for both? And that's all I'm saying. And it needs to always be one extreme or another. And that's the thing that I just find comical in all this.
Dan Heffron dropping some really, really, really slanderous but factual bars over here. He said he bought Remnant 2 last week but had not played it yet. Microsoft gave him a refund because it's on Game Pass now. Sony would not have done that. Oh.
Slow-mo heard his name 3 times and showed up like Candyman. What I was talking about, I do the same thing when people talk about Sonic.
One second, Sega, yes.
What I was talking about was certain people have these complaints, like, but John, adding games into a subscription service randomly teaches the gamers that subscribe to that service not to buy games. If you want a game, you're supposed to buy it on day one, John.
I just don't understand why we cannot grasp the concept that we live in a world, again, where you as a consumer, you're the one that needs to make the choice.
Okay, let me try this. Let me try it. But John, we need to protect the billion-dollar corporation that needs all of your money.
Wait a minute, guys. I hold on, guys. I got away from Twitter to be on the show, and I feel like if I'm in Twitter right now.
You know
What's going on here?
No, so the thing, but the point is why I mentioned you, Slow-Mo, because we had a conversation a while back about waiting for games to come to Game Pass, and we said if you want a game, you're gonna buy it, and don't wait for a game to come to a service. And while I understand your sentiment, Slow-Mo, is there anything wrong with saying, hey, I'm going to wait this one out and see if it does come to a service, because it is, in fact, your money. So I don't think there's anything really wrong.
Here's a little secret.
Scheme of it, real quick, in the grand scheme of it, you are a grain of sand to the rest of the consumer base, to the corporation. If your money won't be the one that saves or bankrupts them. Just a thought, but continue. Go ahead.
Here's the reality of the situation, and we as gamers should understand this more than anything. We are suckers, so there's some of us in here that will buy a $200 PS Portal. There's some of us in here, okay? I'm being real.
First. Look at this
Of
man.
course, because we're all frauds. There's some of us here that will stand on our square, and we will say, I will not buy this game until X company does this or that, and 6 months later we buy one of their games. So it's only a matter of time before you fall for whatever consumerism type thing that you're standing for. It's only a matter of time before you fall, because they're going to get you. And Xbox knows that there's enough consumers in their space that buy games on day one. They know that, and they also know that they have to continue delivering content inside their service in order to grow those numbers. I don't understand why we need to, as a community, and why we need to make such a hard line of saying if company needs to do this or else it's not going to work, when obviously it can be a multifaceted approach that these companies can take. It's like the same thing that we're going to talk about in a little while about Xbox going third party. Mm-hmm. It's incredible to me how Xbox has been releasing games on PC and Switch and other and other ecosystems, but all of a sudden now they're just gonna do a hard U-turn and not release anything on their own console. It's so weird to me, and it's comical.
So I don't disagree with your point. I will. I highlighted Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap's chat, and he's saying if you feel compelled to wait and not buy a game, you ain't really want to play it.
Wait a minute.
Much. Well, hold on. Let me give the pushback, and I'll let you give yours. My pushback is what you're saying is you have to adhere to your childish nature rather than be a grown adult, knowing that you're going to save money down the line. And if you don't, then you're not a fan. I love many a game, but sometimes your check just can't cash that, and you have to then be an adult and go, you know what? When it comes to that subservice, I'll play it there. Doesn't mean that you're not a gamer or you never wanted to play it in the first place. Sometimes situations call for things. Just because you're not that way doesn't mean everybody else is not that way. Some people have no choice but to limit their spending or limit their purchases, even though they are huge fans of whatever IP we're talking about. Go ahead, everyone.
So this is the thing. Like, I don't know, like what is wrong with saying, hey, I don't know if I'm sold on that, or I might be tacitly interested in this thing, but I don't know if I'm gonna buy, because how many times have you bought a game, Slow-Mo, how many times have you bought a game and then you bought it on day one and then didn't play it, and then by the time you played it, it was probably half off?
Yes.
All the time. Happens every single, which is why CD Keys is my go-to this go round.
So this is the thing, right? And Slow-Mo says all the time, and I never complain about it. So so for then, this is not about whether we can or cannot afford the game or financial hardship. I'm not making that argument, but some people can make that argument, and that's a valid argument. But I don't think those are the people that Slow-Mo's talking to. So I'm leaving those people that are having the financial hardship out of my argument. What I'm saying is, you consumer,
even if
what
money
is
is not a
wrong?
problem,
right? I'm over here talking about giving Elon a year's salary for a goddamn box car. Anyway, but
hey,
the point
I appreciate
is,
you. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna clip that and I'm gonna play it to you in a few months.
Everybody's got a price.
They're not gonna call me for a few years, but
let me ask you, Everborn, and let me ask you, Kay, and everybody in the chat, this one question, which is relevant to this conversation. Have you, and we've all been in this situation where we have bought a game only for it to come out on Game Pass a day after, a month after, or a few months after. Has one time this thought even crossed your mind? I'm gonna unsubscribe.
No,
it hasn't for me.
No,
because the value is still there. So this whole notion that, you know what, I want Xbox to just figure out what they're gonna do and not do why do they need to do that? I don't see why they need to, tell you that they are going to release Remnant 2 in December and for you to hold off for X amount of months. They don't need to do that. This is just added value for people that have not purchased that game.
So my thing is this, right? How about we have watched so many games be buggy on day one? We've watched so many games not live up to the hype that they promised. How about you take a wait and see approach and then you say, hey, I'm gonna give you a month or so. Let me see if you go in this service, because you know
that's where the FOMO comes in.
We were just talking about, we all have these backlogs. We were just talking about buying games and not getting around to them till they're on sale anyway. So what is wrong?
I bought
even if you
Forspoken
can afford it,
$15, man, and it's
even
it's a
if you
better
can
version
afford it,
than the $60 version that people bought at the beginning.
Even if you can afford it, what is wrong with waiting and seeing?
There's nothing wrong with that,
right?
From a consumer perspective, absolutely. But the thing is that what I will see the pushback be in these types of conversations is that what other people will say is that we as the consumer of and the game lovers of this medium, by us not forking over our hard-earned cash to these developers and publishers, we will not get more of these experiences down the line. And they use that that fear-mongering over our heads to say, John, you don't really love gaming.
John, I'm sorry. Slow-mo.
He's gonna get on the show, isn't he? He's gonna get on the show.
I started this out by saying I don't take my own advice. Right? And I want the smoke. I'm happy for it. I started out by saying I don't take my own advice. But because the messenger is flawed, that does not mean that the message is not right.
That's right. Yeah. He doesn't take his own advice. That's why we call him Everborn Frivolous Spender.
That don't mean the advice is not right.
There's this unspoken gaming communism that goes on in this community, that if you have your own way of thinking about something and it doesn't follow the grain, you're not a game lover. You don't support developers, you don't support, and none of that is true, because at the end of the day, as a consumer, the one thing that you should care about is how much dollars are left in your wallet to buy more of these games. That's where your first and foremost visual should always be.
So shout out to the 205 people in here
and only
watching.
But a special shout out to the only 58 people that liked it.
Well, 92 people that have liked it so far. Please
hit the like button. On my side, it says 58.
No, hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button already. Please let folks know we're here. It helps the algorithms. Let folks know that we are in here. If you can, share it out if you haven't done so. I will let Tim Per 21 get the last word on this one. Oh, unless you want to jump
I want to say
before
one
we
more
go.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So just before we change topics, the point is,
Slow-mo wants that link.
Slow-mo wants the link. Send me the effing link.
Yes,
go,
bring
baby.
it in here. I want the smoke. So the point is, it's not about whether you really don't want to play the game. What if you really want to play a game, but you could wait? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with saying, let me see how this thing plays out.
Exactly.
Hold up. Let them cook. Now, if it takes too long, then and you finished your backlog or whatever you was at the top of your backlog and now you want to try it, okay, it didn't come there, right?
Okay,
but there's nothing wrong with saying I'm gonna wait to see if this thing comes to a service. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm sorry.
No, there's not.
And I
There's
don't
nothing wrong with
apologize.
There's
And I'm
nothing
not
wrong with
sorry.
that. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, remember, guys, as gamers, we need to understand this. We're all frauds. We all have a price. All of us. We just can't say that. Hey,
Yes,
once you make a hard
Slow-mo was paid off by old BioWare.
Oh my God. says the man that's paid off by Gabe Bucks now. Ooh.
Might be Elon Bucks with this new Cybertruck. But
So Timper 21, and I love his saying, and we'll move on. But when I said Slow-mo with the link, if he chooses to join, that is on him.
He's joining.
He says Timper 21 says, I care about me and mine, and not a multi-million billion-dollar publisher. 100%. Right? So if you look at your wallet and you're like, nah, man, I love this game, but I'm gonna hold off a little bit, right? Right?
Listen,
and you got Game Pass, and Game Pass gives you a million other things to maybe take your time and you wait for this thing.
Nothing wrong with that.
I had no interest in the Remnant. That's why I didn't buy it in day one, because I didn't know about the first. And then I heard everybody talking glowingly about it. So I was like, I got to get this game. Right? But I didn't get around to it because I have a big backlog right now, and I'm trying to do Diablo and then maybe some other things or whatever. But I wasn't planning on buying it by next year.
Having financial,
I'm glad I did.
Having financial responsibility does not mean that you are not a gamer or that you like games any less than anybody else. It just means that you have
Slow-mo says the link is old, by the way.
I know, and it's the same link we use all the time. It's the right link. Yes.
I think Slow-mo's ducking. I think he's ducking. He's trying to say, the link don't work, because he know his argument fell apart.
Just like you ducked the day you lost the bet, but let's move forward.
Okay, Asante thinks that you're trying to fix this like IGN fixed them scores, man.
But anyway, let us move forward.
There he is.
Let us move forward, because and Slow-mo will join us momentarily, and we will continue.
No, he's here. He's here already.
I do not see him in the. Oh, there you
go. Let me.
Well, hold on. Let me get him in here. Let me get him in here, because yes, there definitely needs to be more discussions in this realm, I'm sure. Hold on. Let me set him up here. There you go.
So and just like, and he brought in that, Sega sucks profile picture. I love it.
Oh boy. What are we doing here? We're not gonna start this slanderous stuff in right now. But okay.
Let me know if you need me to add him. Okay.
No. I can add him right now. You don't need to add him, because I need to add him in here first. Hold on.
Oh, I got you.
I'm doing OBS. So yeah. Let's see. So anyway, Mr. Sonic Sucks
challenger has entered.
Mr. Sonic Sucks will join us. Sonic Sucks. Let's see. Oh, okay. I have to do it the way he is doing. All right. So, all right. There we go. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of course, we had to do this. Ooh, and there's Mr. Sonic Sucks Saga. Yes. All right.
Here we go.
Let's see. Oh, let me switch it back to the news, because we were talking news. But
Yes, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
Mrs. Slow-mo Backslap, please, microphone check 1 2. Let's see if we can hear you.
Oh, I know y'all can hear me.
Oh, there you go.
I know y'all can hear me, right?
We can hear you.
All right, so let me get this straight. It's do as I say, but not as I do.
Hey, guess what? Slow-mo. I didn't buy Remnant.
Finish my
it's
statement.
A good thing I waited.
You already trying to cut me off. No, you need to wait. You need to wait your turn.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
How in the world we gonna now at this point in time, we're gonna go, hey, let's do the thing that we know that we as a responsible adult should be doing, but not what we actually doing. We are in a group DM where y'all talk about all the games that y'all should be playing, but you're not playing. But you know why you're not playing them? Because you don't want to play them right now. You didn't want to play them as much as you thought you did. All I am saying is that when I say you decide to wait on a game, you don't want to play that game that much. This is a very simple equation. I don't want to play this game right now. There are other games I want to play more than that. That's what I'm saying. You had the audacity, Everborn, earlier this year. I am clapping. The audacity audacity to talk this talk earlier this year, and then within a week, you bought the game that you said was a broken, buggy mess and no one should buy this game at launch, and you went and pre-ordered it.
What game
This
was
is
that?
what I'm talking about.
I'm not
I
disagreeing
don't
with
even
you.
remember, but you know you did it.
Okay.
And I can look it up
sounds
later.
like something I would do. I just want to know.
Oh,
what the game
it
was.
was something
Slow-mo.
that you did.
Slow-mo, the only thing I will tell you is this, brother. Look, there's obviously, and like I said, and I started the conversation saying that we're all frauds. Because we're as
You're
gamers, we're
damn
all
right
frauds.
you are. Then
So-
you and Sonic frauding.
So what I will tell you,
Fantastic.
what I will tell you is this: the notion when you say that there's a game
Thank
that
you,
you want to play.
Joanna Dark with the receipts. It was Jedi Survivor.
in the notion, and here's this thing that I'm trying to say, and with the notion that there's a game that you really want to play but you haven't got into it yet. Technically, you're right. You should make the time for something you want to do, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want to play the game. You see what I'm saying?
I'm not saying you don't. Okay, it's not black and white. There's degrees to it.
There you go.
You could be interested in the game, but it's like, I'm not quite certain it's going to be good, or I'm not quite certain that I'm going to like it.
Or
It
I'm not
may
ready
be a
for it yet.
high-quality game.
I'm not ready for it yet.
Or
I'm
maybe you're not in the
mind
right
space.
hit. Right, yeah, exactly. Because sometimes we get into our bag where we like certain genres, but like you can understand a game like that's like very narrative driven is high quality, but I'm not really in the headspace to sit down and listen to a lot of dialogue. I want to
There you
shoot
go.
people in the face right now.
Yep.
Like that's a thing. That's being human. But it's also recognizing you're not really liking that game right now. It's just okay. And it's okay to say, all right, well, look, it showed up in Game Pass, and I'm glad I waited because I wasn't really feeling it like that. Now that it's here, I'll give it a shot, especially when games like before Game Pass, before subscription services were doing things like this. This was Black Friday sales. We would say, that game looks cool. I think I'm gonna wait the Black Friday on
Backlog
that
building,
because
yes. Mhm.
yeah, you were kind of on the fence with it. I kind of like it. It looks cool. I don't know.
Buy two,
like,
get one
is
free
it-
days.
Yep.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. People trying to act like, hey man, that's some. And now I'm getting on Pixel. That's some pony logic. As if I'm talking about specifically Xbox. This is everything.
Okay,
It could be a
okay,
PlayStation
stop.
game.
Okay,
it could
ladies and gentlemen.
be
Whoa,
them
whoa, whoa,
basic.
hold on,
It could be
hold on,
them
hold on.
super basic
Hold on.
Nintendo games. It
Breathe.
could be everything. I'm breathing. I'm breathing well. I'm just saying.
What I'm asking you to do is to not call
I
out.
bought a PS
Don't
Portal.
call out the
If
lore
anybody has
master
Pony Logic,
because if
it's
you
me in
do,
here.
he will jump on here as well, and I don't have time to change all these screens again. Stop it.
Bring him and
No.
his
Okay.
extra long
Well, hold
Santa
on.
Claus beard on here
Okay.
too.
Oh no! Don't do that now.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So here's the thing. I think he just called it Pony Logic because he thought it was stupid.
Yes.
Right? And then Pony Logic is stupid, so he said Pony Logic. Not really like a thing. That he can speak for himself though. So
I'm just messing with Pixel. That's all.
Yeah.
Like, I really just wanted to talk about his Santa Claus beard. That's all I wanted to do. Really.
okay, so
We will take
here's
no
the thing.
no beard slander, ladies and gentlemen. There will be none of that. I'm sorry. Continue. Yes.
You're right. My bad.
to level set with
Uh-huh.
what we're saying.
Please.
I am saying he want the link. You see, you brought him up
See, look
now.
at
Before he gets here and things go
I want to
left,
see the beard.
I
wanna see the beard.
Things about to
and
go
things
left.
I am just saying, even if you really want to play a game, you're excited for a game, what is wrong with saying, I'm gonna
I'ma
wait
hold
a
off.
little bit to see if it comes to this subscription service.
Bro,
even
for
if you're
me,
really excited
this
about it.
is specifically
it's
hold on 1 second.
showing
Slow.
that
This
you're
is
really
exactly-
now excited for the game.
No, that's not true. This
No,
is
you don't
me.
have to
This
buy
is
it.
me.
Because you're
Hold
excited
on,
game, don't mean
guys.
you have to buy it. day one.
Listen. For me and Immortals of Avium, I'm super excited for that game. I still haven't played it yet. Doesn't say I'm not. I don't want to play it.
That's
I am
cat.
It's not
First of all,
cat. It's not. I have a lot
first
of
of all,
backlog.
you already know that game is mid. That's the
No,
one
it's
thing.
not.
What?
It's not
Okay.
mid.
You
All right,
haven't.
all right.
You
Wait a
haven't
minute.
played it. How you know it's not mid?
Okay, let me give you a
No,
better
hold on,
example.
Everborn, wait. K, how you gonna say the game ain't mid and you ain't played it?
Well, the reason why I want to play it is because It's one of the first Unreal Engine 5
That's
games
not
that
the
really uses
question
it.
I asked you. How you know the game isn't mid?
Let me explain. I'm explaining it. Let me explain it.
Game.
Well,
it is the epitome of mid.
It's conjecture.
Slow-mo.
Yes, your opinion on the game. Your opinion on the game might be different than mine. And
My
that's cool.
opinion, the reviews, literally everything.
And that
agree with
means
Slow-mo.
others chew my food for me. Who knows? I want to
You
try.
haven't even touched the food. It's not even cooked yet. You haven't
hasn't
taken it
even-
out the
he hasn't-
refrigerator.
he hasn't put it in the microwave
What are you
yet.
talking about?
Look,
Okay, wait a minute. I have a better idea. I think I can answer this. I think I can answer this.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I know that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be amazing. I could have bought it on PC or PS5. I am waiting until it comes to the Xbox because that's where I want to play it.
Okay.
I'm very excited for it.
Why do you know Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing?
Because of what everybody said about it.
Hold on a second, guys.
Okay, so all right, apply that same logic to Immortals of Avium.
Let me add something to that.
No, I'm not jumping on that train with you.
Hold on. Let me
Slow down with the crosstalk. Slow down with the crosstalk. Slow down. Go ahead, John.
I'll tell you what. I think that slow-mo, yes, ultimately for someone to review and give a score to a game, you should have played it. And you should have experienced it for X amount of hours or even beat the game. However, what I will say that I do see this a lot of and I don't agree with is that people cannot have an opinion about a game because of a trailer you've watched, because of gameplay you've watched. When we have gamed all of our lives and we know the types of games that we like and we can kind of see similarities and point out things and say, you know what? Immortals of Avium looks like a type of game that I would personally enjoy. You can say that by looking at a gameplay trailer. Now, when you ultimately play the game, then you can come back and you can say, man, I was wrong. That is a turd. That was not at all what I was
John,
expecting.
to your point, there are many games that everyone says are completely mid, and then I jump in later, I'm like, yo, I enjoyed the heck out of that, right? Like,
you know what?
The only reason why
gonna die on the Immortals of Avium Hill.
No, let me tell you.
Mid is not bad.
The game is mid, but
mid is also not bad. Mid just means it's mediocre. How many of us on this panel have played Immortals of Avium? Also, shout out to the dude in the chat who called me a troll and his ears don't work. He don't even know what I'm saying. Shout out to you, sir.
No, but we see movie, like for example, we always see movie trailers, for example, or trailers of games, and we say to ourselves, man, this is gonna be epic, okay? How do we know? We haven't touched the game. You know what I'm saying? And then when the game comes out, ultimately it gets judged.
All right.
Well,
Right.
well,
And that's
guys, slow down.
hold on.
Real quick.
We're in a rabbit hole now.
Real quick. Let me level set first for people in the chat. Maybe for those who are new here, who haven't been here before, this is what we do. Mr. Slow-mo Backslap always joins us. He always has a dissenting opinion, and we love that. We love having him on this show. So this is not no slight, and he will come and he'll bring his slander, and we will appreciate it. And all opinions are welcome. I'm sorry. Continue.
Right. And now, look, I don't know if anyone else has played that game, the Immortals on the panel. I played it.
Yes, I know you played it. I saw you play it. Yes.
I do think it's a decent game. It is mid. Look, I also like Bleeding Edge, which is also mid, but I enjoyed that game. It's okay to like some mid content. Now everything has to be critically acclaimed.
Hogwarts is mid, right? So
stop it.
He had to do that, right? He had to do that, right?
Even according
It's okay
to
to like
Sega,
Horizon.
Sonic
It's okay to
is
like
mid,
Horizon.
okay?
All right. We're moving too far off the topic at hand. The point is there is nothing wrong, even if you are super excited for a game, to say, wait. I will wait to see if it goes in the service. If you wait too long, then you end up buying it.
Yes.
But there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I really want to play this game. I am 100% going to play this game, but I'm gonna hold off a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. And we don't owe these people buying any game on day one, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so the only point I'm making is
you don't need to pay fealty to these publishers or your platform, right? Because I'm showing respect.
what it does not mean is that it doesn't mean you don't buy games. It doesn't mean you're beholden to some subscription service for whatever the trinkets they give you. It just means you're gonna say, I'm gonna hold off a little bit, even though I'm super excited for that game. I'll give you, and I'm just gonna give you examples. And these are games, again, I am full of shit. That's my one.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Thank you.
No, but wait a minute. This is why specifically I can speak
are
on
to
this.
A certain extent on whatever on
right.
different things.
And this is why I can speak to this, right? I on day one purchased Spider-Man, purchased Jedi Survivor, purchased Resident Evil 4, purchased Alan Wake. I tried my best with Alan Wake. Anyway, the point is, I bought these games, and none of them I didn't need to buy because I'm not playing them in earnest. And by the time I get to them, they're going to be on sale. So isn't it better for me to say, even though I'm very excited about these games, even though these games I know based on my history of preferences in playing games, I'm going to like these games, even though the games are critically acclaimed, I should have just waited to see if they came to some subscription service. Since I bought them at full price, gave them my money for basically nothing because I'm not even playing these games.
But this is where this is where the gaming communism comment comes from that I made earlier. There's this notion in slow-mo. I'm not saying that you're doing this. Please don't think that this is directed
called
towards
you a commie bastard.
There's this.
I got the gun out the holster already, John. It's okay. Continue, sir.
There's this notion, right?
Comrade.
There's this notion and this walled garden mentality that I see a lot of, especially on X with idiots, okay, all day. That if you don't do this or this or that, you are not a real gamer. You don't appreciate the art form of games. Whoever says that to me after I have spent my whole life gaming and I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on products, you're going to come to me and you're going to tell me that with a straight face that I don't like gaming just because I didn't play Alan Wake on day one. I'm going to laugh you out the room.
Oh, bro, you a fraud. You a fraud. You didn't play Alan Wake day one? But John, you're supposed to be a gamer.
And those are disingenuous arguments, though. Like we can't take people like that seriously, where they say, like, when they're making their own arbitrary judgment on what a gamer is based upon like things that really have nothing to do. We're all gamers here. Like no one who's a gamer is even caring about these kind of discussions. Who would be listening to this shit? It's like if you're listening to this and you're not a gamer, you are super confused about anything that we're talking about or why we're being so animated about any of it. So it's just like those arguments are dumb and really should never even be. They're not even worth acknowledging, in my opinion, which is the reason why with people who say things like that, I just either mute or block them on Twitter, because I really just don't care for that kind of foolishness and disingenuous arguments on my timeline. That said, like if you're someone, and someone mentioned that I like Spider-Man 2, which I enjoyed the game. You know, it's got its flaws. I enjoyed it though.
Nothing wrong with that.
I was also hyped for Spider-Man 2 day one. So as soon as it came out, I played it. If it was a game that like I really wasn't too all that hyped for, I'm literally right now, and I actually had this conversation with Pixel, Papa Santa in the chat, and me and him were having a conversation. That's his nickname. It is now. Look, me and him were kind of having a conversation about the games that we got to play and the games that we keep playing. I have been playing nothing but Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, like in the new update stuff with 3 different characters in Call of Duty for the past 3 weeks. That's all I've been playing. I got a bunch of other games to play. I can acknowledge that although I am interested in playing Deliver Us Mars, I'm interested in playing Road 96 Day Zero. I'm interested in playing all these games I got on my backlog. I am not that hyped to play those games.
Slow-mo,
it's not saying that I don't like them. It's saying that I'm not all that interested in them right now.
Slow-mo, do you want me to show you how I completely disagree?
Hey, why I
with what you
gotta
just
be
said
a
right now?
sugar elf? What is that? I'm like, hey.
Let me show you right now why I disagree with the statement you just made, and I'll push back on it. Because
Okay.
if anybody knows me, and Kay, you know how I am with my comics. You know that my left arm is completely sleeved up with Marvel villains. Venom is on my bicep. I was looking forward to Spider-Man 2 like you can't believe. It was probably one of my most anticipated games of the year because of the Venom factor in the game. I love Venom. I always have. Do you know what kept me from playing that game on day one? And till this day, I'm still waiting for the game to be polished because I don't want those bugs to hinder my experience. So I am choosing to wait. For Insomniac to put out as many patches as they need so that the game is in pristine condition so I can experience it.
That's a
in
righteous,
its full glory.
valid option.
And
it's a righteous
the
reason.
thing is, am I missing out? Yes, I am, because I haven't played the game yet. But that does not mean that I do not want to play the game. I'm just waiting for it to play it on my terms.
There you go. I mean, what do you say to that there, Slow? I mean, to me, that's a very righteous argument to waiting, because we live in a world where you play a game day one, chances are you're playing the buggiest experience. You wait long enough.
There's too much out there there's too much out there to play and to consume for these companies not to deliver day one. If you don't deliver day one for the consumer, I got options, B. I can look the other way and I can wait for you to get your shit in order.
And you get one. That's it. No more swearing. We're done with that. Continue.
My bad. My bad. I'm sorry.
You're good. We only get one. Go ahead. Potty mouths. Yes. Continue, Slow.
Terrible. No, look, this is the same argument that everyone was making earlier this year that you know he admitted that he was he was frauding on.
Oh,
now, I'm not saying, John,
it's a righteous message. He's just for fraud. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying you fraud on. The thing is that it's like I feel like when we can talk that talk, but we can't walk it. It's because honestly, it's what I'm saying is that you really look. I have played I remember playing Cyberpunk day one at launch, as buggy as it was. And although my second playthrough through it, I enjoyed it more because there was less bugs, and I actually had more patience to learn the systems and the different other things that were going on in it that CDPR had implemented. I still played it day one at launch, and I still was determined to finish that game because I was that interested in playing the game. Gotham Knights, I waited. That game was a buggy mess at launch, even on PC, and I waited for like 3 or 4 months for it to get fixed. Why? Because I was not that interested in Gotham Knights. I was not the kind of person that was like, yo, I don't care. I'm going to play this, or even on consoles at 30 FPS or barely 30 FPS. I think it was like it was averaging in the mid-20s the entire time. People will excuse the bugs. We saw it with Jedi Survivor. And I'm not talking about Everborn, but other people who were just talking so highly about Jedi Survivor's story and the characters, despite the performance being absolutely abysmal.
Trash.
So people will excuse the performance if they are hyped enough for the game. Now, that's not saying that like, yo, I'm waiting. That performance is it. But the reason why people wait is because they know they don't really care for it that much. I mean, they care. They want to play it. It's levels to it.
Slow. I hear you, and your reasons have merit. But the man with Venom tattooed on his arm gave you a righteous opposite reason why he waited. That can't be denied. I mean, I agree with him. Like I will. It
doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not hyped for the game and that I don't. It's just that for me, I want.
He wants his first experience to be the best, right?
Exactly, and that is the only sole reason why I have waited.
But wait a minute. I still think that gets away because I don't think Slow-Mo has any issue with what you're saying. What is wrong with saying this might come to the service? I am gonna wait for it.
Yeah.
And if I gotta wait too long, then I'll buy it. But what is wrong with doing that? That's the inherent question I'm trying to answer.
I'm not saying there's
danced around.
I'm not because I've never said like I don't judge anyone's pockets. I'm not pocket watching. You do how you want to do it.
It is not.
Hold on a moment. Because you mentioned
still
the pocket watching,
a financial choice.
Yes,
because you mentioned the pocket watching. Hold on. Because you mentioned the pocket watching, I must point out that we have a poll, and I want people to vote. Now you'll understand what I mean by that. Because the vote, because
I'm not lending any money. I'm trying to save up for my Cybertruck. I can't do it right now.
Oh no!
The poll says. Let me speak.
Can I get $20 for some Whataburger? My bad. Go ahead.
The poll says, game purchases. Do you buy day one or wait till it's on a subservice? And we have 24% so far saying they buy day one. We have 18% saying they wait for a subservice. They have 21% saying, well, slow-mo's trolling. And then the biggest percent, which is 34%, is Everborn, can I borrow some money?
I ain't got it.
Come on, Privilege Spender. Privilege Saga. Come on, bro.
Big
I am.
Come on. You're buying a boxcar from Elon. You got like 15 houses. What's going down?
I'm trying to get this Warthog, and I'm not gonna let y'all mess it up.
You are buying the ugliest vehicle in existence. You're talking about you ain't got the money. Come on, man.
Head turner. If me and a Lamborghini
for all the worst head turner for all the worst reasons.
I got something for the chat that I genuinely want to know because I haven't gotten this confirmed anywhere I've seen. They're saying Roadkill 8018 is saying that there's no more bugs in Spider-Man 2 and that I'm spreading lies. Guys, have all the bugs been patched out of that game?
I haven't played it since I platinumed it like 3 weeks ago, so I don't know what patches they've done since then. I will say this: when I was beating the game, I had one bug. Okay. After beating the game, and I started to go into the doing the other stuff to platinum it, I had 2 crashes. I had started getting more bugs. I think a lot of the bugginess of it is not the main line. So I know you will get some bugs in the main missions. It's the other side content that they were trying to, I think, get ready before launch.
So I've been talking to some people in the background, and it seems that if you're on the path, they spent a lot of QA on the actual story, but the open world, the random occurrences, that's where you get stuck in things. You're not the first person to say that. It is very much a thing. The mainline story to get you from beginning to end, chef's kiss, works perfectly. You get a bug here and there, but it's nothing debilitating. So when you go into the open world, then you got some issues. Yes, I'm sorry.
So then I'm right. So then I'm right as a consumer that spend my money and I'm excited about the product to wait for it to be a polished experience that I expect.
Absolutely. Look. If you look at a game the same thing I said with Gotham Knights, that game buggy at launch. I'm not going to play that game at launch either. I love the DC universe. I don't know about love Batman. Batman's overrated. He's a psychopath. But look, I like I like this stuff, right?
And now you're back with Everborn Saga Strain. Continue.
I'm just saying, I have Batman comics, and I'm a fan of the character.
Beat everybody.
Yeah, exactly. With all the prep time and money in the world, and writers who are willing to give him all kinds of plot armor, like all the
Tom Kings of the world,
right? But what I'm saying is that I will wait on the game, but I just because we are big fans, and I'm not saying that you weren't hyped for Spider-Man 2, but just because we're big fans of a particular character doesn't mean when it comes to games that we're looking at am I going to play this at launch or not? Even if, let's say, particularly say, John, I don't know for certain or not, but what if you were more hyped to play something else like Starfield than Spider-Man at that time period? If your hype level for Starfield is higher, you're going to say, oh, well, the bugs in Spider-Man 2 make it justify me sticking with Starfield longer to spend more time in that universe and just waiting for this to get fixed. If you don't have a ton of games, because as you said, you ain't no missionary gamer, so you have a ton of games to play. But if you're a missionary gamer that ain't got a ton of games to play,
don't continue that rhetoric,
sir. You're starving. You're starving.
Don't continue that narrative, sir.
So that's
use the crumbs that are there.
So that's the thing for those that are starving for content. Yeah, you're gonna jump on the bugginess, and that's not gonna bother you and all that good stuff. But when you have choice and there's so much other stuff to look at and consume, I can still tell you that both can be true. I can be excited about a product, but I can also say, figure your shit out. I mean, I'm sorry about that, Kay. That's another bad word. Figure your stuff out.
Potty mouth guy.
Yeah, sorry, man.
By the way, speaking of trailers, The Boys season 4 trailer just dropped.
This man.
Really?
I don't think we can watch that. That's
we can't. No,
we can't. And I just finished watching Gen Z last night. It like perfectly ties in. It's
so, ladies and gentlemen,
it's almost mandatory watching, honestly.
One before the other one.
Okay. The Boys.
Okay.
Yeah, you have
Phase. Let me
have
let
to
Phase
watch it for the last episode. Yeah,
I would actually
Phase
consider
114
that season 4 and this season 4 season 5. Really, that's how mandatory it is.
Let me let Phase 114 super chat here be the button to this conversation that we're having here. We'll move forward. And he says, Phase 114, 114 with a $2 super chat. Thank you for being here, sir. He says, gamers that don't live with mama prefer waiting. Why? Because life happens. Hey,
that's not necessarily true, but I understand the sentiment.
The sentiment makes sense.
Anyway, we should move on.
Let's move forward because
the last thing, the only thing I'm saying in it, just to be clear on what I'm saying, there is nothing wrong with saying I'm gonna wait a little while, even if it's a game you really want, because again, none of us here take this advice, or at least I don't.
And once again, StreamYard shows its ridiculousness because it kicked us out. But don't worry, we'll jump right back in. Yes, they're probably still talking. You can hear me, but you can't hear them. But here we go.
Addicts or whatever you want to call us. But in truth, we really should wait and look out for us. Whether it is for bugs, whether it's for your backlog, or whether it's for your wallet, there is absolutely nothing wrong with saying, for whatever reason you have, I'm gonna wait and see on none of these people deserve your money day one.
So by the way, real quick aside, did y'all see StreamYard just completely crap the bed on us? Like it dropped everybody out?
No, it crapped on you.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, when it craps on me, it takes y'all with me because I'm using OBS, so nobody saw anybody y'all were talking about. It's just me.
Okay.
Really?
Three were still in here.
We're not
man,
we are not in StreamYard. You guys are in StreamYard.
Yeah,
but yes,
we was talking about how the secret to life is 42.
Oh Lord, now you're telling people stuff. All right, good to know. Good to know. So okay, let us move forward because I have a few other things I want to hit before we're done.
And Slow Mo, how long do we have you? Because I need your take on this third party thing.
Yeah, I want to get there.
If we're doing that next, I'm here for it. Let's go.
Let's do it. So
we got like 3 hours almost in. So let's get into the proper. So before we get there though, the third of the 3-month Game Pass code is in the chat now. I will summarize all of it when we get to the end. But this is the third of the 5. So grab that. And when the time comes, you will win 3 months Ultimate Game Pass. All right. So real quick, we will let's get to the proper talk. Let's get to the proper talk, which is that Microsoft wants to stick Game Pass on everything, including on PlayStation and Nintendo consoles. They are a third-party publisher, ladies and gentlemen. It is over. If you have a console, you might as well throw it in the trash because you can play it on your phone now. Isn't that right? Go ahead, everyone. Isn't that what was said? Didn't Tim Stewart come out and say, screw all that your console is trash now?
Okay, so there's a lot going on. There was the Tim Stewart interview.
Yes, sir.
Talking to investors. There's the chief financial officer who's not. His job is not really to manage the brand, it is to bring in the most money. And so we should just take it with that context. He was talking to Wells Fargo.
Sure.
And the hilarious thing is he started it with, I'm not making any announcements here today. But everyone took it as and this is my problem. This is
but
how
that's not only even that. Like that statement that he made that everybody took. The beginning of the statement. No. The beginning of the statement was in the past and then he made the statement. But in the past stuff got missed. Literally, if you read the statement, it said in the past, and then he talked about wanting to put it. But the in the past was
right.
Which is
but
even
if you
more
listen
hilarious.
to the whole half-hour interview. The person asking him the question was, can you tell us the difference and define the difference between, as it relates to the Activision acquisition? Can you just define for us and level set what is the difference between Activision going from a third-party business to a first-party business? That was in the context that he was speaking. Now, later on again, they're still on the Activision topic, where he says what you're going to hear from us more and more is that we want to be on every screen, including who we thought as competitors before, which is PlayStation and Nintendo, and we just did that deal with Nvidia. So my issue is people that either can't read or don't have listening comprehension,
or want to twist the narrative,
right? And people who literally wag their finger at everyone who speaks in absolutes, then they will turn around and say, I've heard the audio, they're definitely going third party, right? And my issue is this: these people will listen to that interview and take the absolute worst, hardline, most negative interpretation of it and then tell you that it's fact. They're definitely going third party, right? Forget about the because they'll tell you it's the context. They're not looking at context. And then you have the next day where Phil Spencer comes around and slaps that down, even though he already slapped it down before. They're not a third-party publisher, but why not? Let's run headlines, Gizmodo and Eurogamer,
IGN,
and VGC and IGN. Let's run headlines saying that they're going to go third-party. Why not? Let's do that, right? And all the people who are so smart or try to sound so smart will now say this definitely means they're going third party. Here's the thing that I want to say. This is some big brain logic that I'm going to give you guys, right? What will these people tell you the future of Xbox is?
Oh, I love that you said the future. Welcome to that future episode. That's what this is called, by the way. Continue.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll tell you it's Game Pass. Am I right or am I wrong?
Absolutely.
Slow-mo, am I right? I just want to go through the whole panel. They'll tell you it's Game Pass. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Now, Phil says we have no plans to put Game Pass in PlayStation and Nintendo. And then these big brain people will tell you that's because they don't want it on their platform. So the same people that will tell you the future of Xbox is Game Pass, and that's where all their eggs are, even though it's not, but this is what they'll say. The future is Game Pass. These people don't want Game Pass, so Xbox is going to walk away from the platform that is the only one they can put Game Pass on.
It makes no sense. And
Yeah,
to go a little bit further with what you're saying, okay? The thing is this is my favorite part of this whole discussion, and this is why I've been laying the smackdown on Twitter, okay? Do we not understand here that PlayStation and Xbox are third-party publishers? They engage.
They've been a third party for many years now. Yes.
Now, where I will say that there is debate is on how much of the strategy is third party publishing, but the definition of third party publishing is putting your product on another ecosystem, on another console, etc. And both of these companies are doing that. What the narrative, like what everyone was saying, that these, fanatics ran with was that Xbox was removing themselves from the console space, and this was confirmation. This confirmed it. They were right all along. And no, that's not at all. You
but wait a
twisted
minute.
this
But
article
John-
to fit that narrative.
But John, let me ask you a question.
This should
Where
be the
can
But
I
John
buy
episode.
the
Go ahead.
PlayStation version of Halo or Gears or Forza or Fable or Starfield?
It doesn't.
They're a
it's
third-party
not-
publisher, though, right?
That's not at all what I took from everything. Guys, we're living in a world where it is a reality that the new CEO of SIE might come in and might decide to put Spider-Man on Xbox. Why is that so far-fetched? We are living in that world where that is a possibility, and that doesn't necessarily mean that PlayStation then is going to take God of War and Horizon and do the same. There's options here. These companies have now more than ever, the way that the gaming space is moving towards, they need to be creative with the ways that they have income coming in, and they keep on growing their base, because time and time again it's been said that the console space is capped. There is no more room for growth there. So they need to figure out ways to make money and come up with creative solutions while still giving their core audience
But
those
John,
unique features that take you to that platform.
But John, what about competition? Don't they say that if you remove that from, if you make them all third parties, then there'll be no more competition? Think about the competition, John. What about that?
It's still there, guys. It's still there.
You know, I'm not going to say that I'm a psychic, but there was a reason why I said nothing about this when when Tim Stewart's interview came out days like on Tuesday. I just waited.
Because you knew that there'd be another statement. You knew it.
Right. I knew there would be a clarification of his words.
Of course.
Because
every time,
or from Sarah or from somebody.
Every time he speaks, every time Tim speaks, somebody got to come out and correct him. Somebody should tell Tim to stop his mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like Tim, let's have a talk, Tim. I know you're good at your job and we love you.
That's right.
When they bring up Xbox, I want you to just memorize everything I already said and just reiterate that. Like maybe that's what they need to do to make things simpler. But regardless of that, I knew that this was going to get further clarified. So I just waited. And I just saw people like definitely pick up that goalpost, you know, get it out of the ground, move it 10 feet back, clamp it right back into the ground and stand as a goalie on that goalpost once again, because I knew that's what they were going to do. Look, they're not, and I've been saying this for forever to everyone that argues with me about it, they're not going to be a strictly third-party publisher. They're not getting rid of the Xbox. There's no financial benefit to them doing that.
Yep.
Period. And the only thing that people come up with, well, the Xbox is selling great. Did y'all see? Clearly, they didn't read Tim Stewart's interview, nor did they read Jez Corden's entire articles, because I took screenshots of what Phil Spencer said, and when in regards to the hardware, he talked specifically about this being now Sarah Bond's purview. This is her arena, how they have plans, how they have a services roadmap, a hardware roadmap, a roadmap for something else. I can't remember. I think cloud. He said, achievements and stuff.
Yes.
And you don't promote this woman to a president of an entire division that you have no future for.
Yep.
You don't then give her all this. You don't have. Look, we saw the leaks from 2021 of what their plans are, all the way to 2027 when it comes to hardware. Some of that stuff ain't coming out, and frankly, some of that stuff don't need to come out if they're going to look like what they showed those little graphics. That issue was ugly, or revamp it. I don't know. But look, they working on all kinds of hardware. Clearly, Xbox is not going anywhere. And when people have this notion where they're going to choose to ignore certain aspects of data to then only highlight certain other aspects, I mean, you already know what the agenda is.
Well, hold on. Let's address Josefina's chat real quick. He says, I don't know what Phil's says. I'm listening to Tim Stewart since he's the money guy and he speaks to investors. Now, Let me address that, and I will want Everborn and Slow-Mo, I want you to address that as well. No. There's no slander here. But
when Jim Ryan spoke to investors, he told them that Bungie was more valuable than ABK. That's all you need to know about what people talking to investors will say. But please, I'm sorry.
So no. You make a good point, and I will also say, right, Tim Stewart, if that was his power, then you wouldn't need Phil. Then you wouldn't need Sarah. Then you wouldn't need all the heads of the other like stools of the pillar, right? What's happening here, and maybe it's because, and those of us that work in corporate America may know this more than others. I'm not saying you do or don't, but I'm just clarifying, right? Yes, he's the money man, but the money man, remember, don't listen to what he says talking to investors as he's talking to you, because he's not. He's talking to investors, right? But what happens in this structure is the money man wants to make money. So he goes to the representatives of each of these pillars and asks what he can get away with. That's literally what he has to do, right? And it'll be up to Sarah to go, yeah, you can only go so far here. It'll be up to whoever represents Activision to go, yeah, you can only go so far there, right? He doesn't go, oh, well, this is what makes us money, so this is what we're doing. No, Sarah, as president of Xbox, tells him, well, these options are interesting, but I think I want to choose this. I think I want to choose that. It is her purview to choose the options that Tim Stewart gives her, because that is her purview. She's representative of that. And all the other heads of the leadership team get that choice as well. Tim doesn't dictate terms. Tim gives options. But continue, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Do you know what hurt the Hoove Nation yesterday more than anything? That they thought that this was their moment that this was their payback for Sony announcing that they were going to start releasing games on PC. So that this was their moment, right? Yeah. And unfortunately, Phil knocked that down real quick in less than 24 hours. And then here's the funny thing about this: what they are championing for of being the one of the only companies left being not third party. You're waving that flag on behalf of Nintendo. They are the last of the Mohicans. They are the ones that have the claim to fame, not PlayStation. They don't have that claim to fame anymore because they release their games on multiple SKUs. So I find it comical that there's people that are cheerleading something that does not exist. It's not reality.
And you know, honestly, even Nintendo does publish a few games on mobile.
Yep.
So even they aren't so beholden to just their one platform that they won't clearly see the money pit that is mobile and say, I want to get a piece of that too. Yeah. Because that's the most growth out of any gaming, segment and gaming. So it's just like, yeah, it's funny because it's like, as you said, like back in 2014, Xbox became a third-party publisher on PlayStation when they acquired Minecraft and continued to keep Minecraft on there.
Yep.
PlayStation is a third-party publisher on Xbox with MLB The Show.
Exactly.
They're also third-party publishers on PC, and more than and we have all the evidence in the world that right, Destiny as well, right? And we have all the evidence in the world that PlayStation is going to come out with their own launcher on PC eventually, because they don't want to be giving 30% of that money to Epic Game Store and Valve for no reason.
And there's nothing wrong, Slow-Mo, with the next SIE CEO coming in and saying, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but there's nothing wrong with that person being creative enough to make more money for them to say, hey, you know what? We're gonna try something out here. Let's release Horizon. It didn't meet the numbers that we want. Let's put it everywhere. I want it everywhere. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't devalue the person that bought a PS5. It doesn't diminish their purchase. And there's this notion that it diminishes the PS5 purchase that you paid $500 for because Horizon is releasing on Xbox.
Come on, John.
That to me doesn't make any sense.
But you know damn well as I do, the minute that I pull out my Blu-ray of the Matrix, all the versions on Netflix and all the other subservices must evaporate, because if both exist, that ends the world. How dare you play it elsewhere?
It's just look, I understand because I was in their shoes up to 2 or 3 years ago before I became a gamer that I game everywhere, non-missionary. That's why I preach
we
that,
call
right?
it agnostic gamers, but okay, continue.
Yeah, I call it something else. So the fact, Slow-Mo, that even you are primarily, from everything I've known about you, you are primarily PC. You will play it on PC if you have the choice. That's kind of like where I've gone to this generation. But the notion that you are going to play Horizon, the new one, when it comes out on PC, and the person that plays it on PlayStation should feel inferior to you or should feel any different towards you is just comical at best to me.
They should
Wait a
feel
minute.
inferior.
Wait a minute.
I'm look. There's some PCMR. Yes, you should feel inferior. I'm gonna have ray tracing. I'm gonna have better ray tracing. The game gonna look on my rig so much better than yours. Your penis is going to shrivel up and then go inside your body.
Okay,
that's how emasculated. That's how emasculated you will be.
What's
by my?
I gotta. Okay, go ahead, everyone.
Gentlemen, I've been quiet for long enough.
Okay.
Some more breaking news. The House of Dragon Season 2 trailer just dropped. I don't know
Oh
what's
my
going on with today.
What is going
Why
on?
is everything dropping right now?
I got so much to watch.
And whether we like it or not, we're gonna have to put a PG-13, probably rated R on this one. Today's episode is rated R.
I didn't even curse. Really, what I said was that was worse than John.
No. I'm just saying the whole thing, the whole show. Go ahead, everyone.
Definitely a PG-13.
Slow-Mo, you definitely just talked about phallic shrinking. So, like,
every time they see a screenshot of their games on PC and it looking 10 times better than it does on their limited hardware, their limited closed environments, that's what happens, man. They lose an inch every single time.
Oh my God, man! Come on, Slow.
All right. So if you wanted to use your analytical brain at all, you would understand.
Why would we do that though?
Currently, Microsoft's entire cloud strategy relies on their hardware.
Yes.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
You would also understand that going third party would put the entire future of their business in the hands of Sony and Nintendo. If they didn't have their own platform. You would also use your big brain to understand that if you learned anything during the last 2 years, the primary driver of revenue in content and services, a lot of the times comes from the third party microtransactions. So Microsoft would have to walk away from all of the FIFA money, all of the Fortnite money, all of the GTA money, all of the 130% cut they'd lose on all their own stuff, all their own first party stuff, and they'd only have to rely on their first party stuff. When they have a platform that you can call it third place, you can call it second place, this market is impossible to enter. Right? And so we already know that their margins are higher than Sony. We've seen this. So they're actually making, in some years, more of a profit off of less money than Sony is making.
Yes. It's about the dollars and cents. Right? Absolutely. Yes.
And so this idea that they're just going to up and walk away from that,
it's hilarious.
Hilarious. It is worse than hilarious. It's sick. It is sick.
You only see that in the games, in the games talk, because you don't when you go to the car community, you don't hear people saying that because Mazda or Honda are not in first place, they're just gonna stop making cars. Sony isn't number one in
zero
TVs.
sum thinking.
Yes.
It's weird. It's like, no, they're going away 100%. 100. Why is there a notion that they're going away?
Gentlemen, hold on one second. Well, give me 1 minute, please. And Everborn, I'm going to let you continue because the conversation will continue to relate. But let me add another thread to this, because we are talking about Xbox and we're talking about other third party and all of that. And this episode is called The Future. So while you continue to talk, I will add this tweet here from Idle Sloth, which came out that then showed that they have classified Clockwork Revolution. Yes, they have classified Hellblade 2 and South of Midnight, all for next
coming
year.
to PlayStation.
Okay, so the question I have is that
trailers though. That they were classifying these things.
They're not classifying trailers. You can classify a trailer, right? And I've spoken to some devs in the background to get their opinions on it. There have been instances where they've had to classify because a trailer is coming, but that's few and far between and a rare occurrence. It has happened, but many people who have more hands on the pot than I do see this and they say this thing is far more done than you think. Clockwork Revolution, so this is far more done than you think. And what is the
average timetable? What's the average timetable of these things being rated or whatever they are to like launch date or release dates to them coming out?
As I've heard, that when you see this, that means they're in QA. And could there be bugs? Sure, there could. But now it's all about QA. Now you and I both know, Slow, you spend a lot of time doing your research.
Last a year.
QA lasts a year. But at least the game has to be in playable form, beginning, middle, and end, by and large, because you're handing it to a third party to evaluate.
Spider-Man.
But if QA could last, if QA could last a year, we're still in 2023. That would put these things in 2024. No, by the end of the year.
The point is, we're talking about the future. We're talking about them being third party, and then out of nowhere, not only are these three, there's four of them. Hellblade, three, right? There's Clockwork Revolution, there's Hellblade, and then there's South of Midnight. Games that
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Kay. What you're trying to say is that with the narrative that these individuals were running with, it's completely counterintuitive to even the show that Xbox had this summer, highlighting all the games coming to the Xbox ecosystem, including the current consoles that they currently have on sale that you can walk into a Target and buy, but they're magically going to go away, as per what these people are saying.
Also, just one other thing to consider, like, yes, the deal is done. Yes, Activision, ABK is a part of Microsoft. They're still dealing with an appeal case.
True.
So you don't want to have any language like, yeah, we going all exclusive and we gonna put them out of business, right? That's not the conversation you want right now, because there is still one last. It's not a hurdle. The deal's done, but it's a
roadblock.
Up thing.
It's yeah. Real quick, Everborn Saga, he did it before, but you weren't here, so now you are here. Paris Lily in the chat, making sure that you know that Sonic is the food for less of gaming. Just so you're aware.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wait a minute.
Sonic tax is real.
Wait a minute, everybody. It's
gas station chicken is what it is.
Since we are doing mascot slander,
he is calling Sonic Wawa chicken. Holy crap!
What does that make Banjo though?
Oh boy!
When was the last time you got a Banjo game?
Oh wow! Man. Oh holy!
I can't throw a rock without hitting a Sonic game.
What? And that's not a good thing, man. It's because
all I'm saying,
quality over quantity, right?
If Sonic is not this or is not that means. But he's still getting games. That means nobody cares about Banjo. Banjo's in the bushes.
All right, so
that's what we doing.
His rebuttal is, I don't hear Phil name dropping Sonic like he did Banjo.
but I heard Sarah Bond name dropping Sonic.
Did you guys not see that picture of the Sega Genesis Mini that Phil has right under his right hand side that I did that investigative journalism?
Right next to this book.
That picture of.
Right next to this book that's on his shelf as well. We actually saw that recently. Shout out to Xbox Era. Yes. We saw that. Yes, indeed.
So Sarah Bond, who's running Xbox, whose name is coming out of her mouth? It's Sonic. It's not Banjo. That's all I got to say on that matter.
Okay, sir. All right.
Hey, Everborn, I'm a little
Sarah just
disappointed.
feels bad. Maybe she just feels bad about Sonic
Sarah
Superstars failing to live up to expectations.
Oh, come on.
Maybe she
Sarah
just feels
cannot-
bad that even Sega came out and said, "Man, we really should not have launched it up against these juggernauts that it clearly could not."
We got
outspell."
QVC, bro.
What,
We got
what were we
QVC.
thinking? Anyway, nothing to do with no QVC. It is everything to do with no one cares about Sonic. No one cares about Sonic Superstars. Literally everything that came out around that time period outsold it. I mean,
Hey,
it's
Everborn,
just-
I'm
it is
just
good.
disappointed in you that you're wearing a black T-shirt and not a white one like Jimmy did to that contract signing that he did. The plain white tee, man. Come
That
on,
was
man.
fantastic.
Okay,
So last
okay.
thing on this,
Yes,
third
yes.
party thing.
Wrinkle
please.
white tee at that. You couldn't even iron it.
with the armpit stains.
Armpit stains and everything. I bet you if they panned down, you would see he would have had on flip flops with the socks on and
Nothing
and
says
sweatpants.
I am done with this place like that T-shirt he had on. But just so Kay can move on, just to put this third party thing to bed, them doing that, unless
never a
they can
thing.
make some kind of meaningful progress in the PC storefront space, which they have not done yet, there is no chance, because they would be putting the fate of their entire business in the hands of Sony and Nintendo. And again,
Yeah, that's a good point.
whatever place you want to put them in,
Yeah.
it
'Cause
doesn't. No one can even enter
your-
this market.
to-
And they
to
would
your
just
point,
give that away.
Imagine that you're basically talking about the recreation of the mobile space right now, right? They gave up, they ceded ground, and now they are beholden to Apple and Android. And look how that's
Ask-
worked out for them, right?
Ask,
You would
guys,
effectively-
ask Google how hard it is to get into this market.
Sure, but
we're
go ahead, go ahead.
about to have to ask Amazon that question. But
Indeed,
you would
yes.
be putting the fate of Game Pass in the hands of Sony and Nintendo.
Absolutely, yes. That's a
Ask
very
yourself
good point.
how much sense that makes when you talk about this third party.
Well,
nonsense.
not
But
even.
anyway. That's
well,
it.
but not even that. But the fact that, like you're describing, the fact that they've done that before, right? They do have the fate of many of their mobile dreams now rests in Apple and Android, and they've had to go to court to make sure that they even get an opportunity. If they were to give up console space, they'd be right there in the console business with two other stakeholders dictating terms again. So that's absolutely true. If nothing else, that's the reason to keep an Xbox to the side as part of their ecosystem forever, so they don't have to be beholden to that. So yeah,
They don't have control in mobile,
no,
right? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Now, let me ask you guys a question. They talked about this on Xbox 2 yesterday,
okay,
and it's something I've brought this up a couple of times in the past. So we know that regulators are sniffing around, and Microsoft's plan for Xbox mobile store that hinges on regulators breaking up the stranglehold that Apple and Google have on their stores in terms of e-commerce, right? Because everything goes through their store. You have to do it through their store.
Yeah, so now they have to break up the e-commerce part of it. That's the plan, anyway.
Right, and so they will allow other stores.
Yep.
If that goes all the way to regulators, right? Who is to say that won't trickle down to the console manufacturers?
That is an
Closed
interesting point.
ecosystem, they're the
Yeah.
only
It's
place you
uncharted
can put a
waters.
store.
It's
So
uncharted waters.
what if we got to a world where Microsoft and vice versa Sony could literally put their own store, which means every purchase you make in that store,
Goes
they
to them.
get that 30% cut,
Yep.
or they get 100% if it's a first party title.
Yep.
Could we one day be in a world where Sony can put a store on an Xbox and Microsoft can put a store on a PlayStation? And they don't even have to deal with them. This is our
See,
own
but-
store, it's our own ecosystem.
But that's the world that everybody seems to fear. But that's the world that it looks like we're heading, right? Look at the subscription services, right? Your Disney Plus is next to your Netflix, and that's the world they've had to live. And more in the console space, they are breaking the console as the platform and trying, at least on Microsoft side and a little bit on PlayStation side, they're trying to make them as stepping stones to the ecosystem, which is their platform, however you interface with it.
And just one more thing before anybody speaks on that. Jason B makes the next point that I wanted to make, but he said it first, so he gets the credit.
Yes.
The console business isn't as big as the mobile business. See, the reason the regulators are coming in and doing this, it's even less than that, right? Because there are like 3 billion Android devices out there, and all 3 billion of those devices, well, not really all, because Android is a little bit more open, but for the most part, those 3 billion people have to go through the Play Store for the most part, not 100%, right?
Yeah.
The billion iPhones that are out there, they all have to go through Apple.
Yeah.
And so when you get to that scale, you have different responsibilities.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's that the consoles, they're in the 100 million territory per ecosystem, per platform.
This is the
That's
same
not
thing.
big enough to say you have to come in there and dictate their store terms.
This is the same thing we were talking about when they started going about after Amazon. You can't own Amazon.com, the store, and also sell stuff in Amazon as a store for front, because it's not fair to the consumers, to the other sellers in that market. That's why they were going after them for it. Same exact thing here, right? Same exact thing. So, like, your question, Everborn, I do find super interesting. There is a world where consoles exist and they will continue to, but they will be even in that there are just stepping stones to getting into the ecosystem, which is the libraries, right? And you can get that anywhere you want. You don't want to deal with it with a console. Just like right now, who was I listening to who was talking about how amazing of an experience Game Pass is on the Samsung TV with just a remote control, where there's a controller. I can see a world where Sony delves into that. They started that with Bravia. I had that.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
Yes,
the difference
they
is
did.
at the time, that experience wasn't great. Right? Now it's getting better and better and better and better all the time. Oh, who was I listening to? I was listening to Mr. Hargeet Chani, and I was listening to the great Xbox Infinite podcast, which, by the way, salute to them. I saw Mr. Umbra in the chat hitting 100 episodes. I was watching that.
Okay,
but they were talking about. Hold on. Let me get my point. My point was in that place they were talking about how the new Samsung TVs have the hardware and the graphics equivalents of like Xbox 360 to Xbox One. They are slowly getting to a place where they are actually comparable as gaming devices, and they're just
you know
TVs.
What's even more interesting about that? Our kids care less and less about
graphics. That's right. They don't give a crap. Yes.
The phones are getting better, but the phones are going to get to a place where they're good enough. But I don't want to turn this into a playing card on your phone.
No.
So Rodimus says something that, and I want to read. He says, Everborn, that's like saying, why can't Disney Plus have Stranger Things on their service, or why can't Southwest sell a seat on American Air? So here's the thing. How come Steam can sell things on Windows? You would never on if Microsoft said every purchase that happens on a PC, we need 30% up.
Oh yeah, Windows would be dead by now. Windows would be dead by now.
Right?
They would have torn it apart.
They wouldn't get away with that.
But because they're so large,
Yep.
and so many people rely on them.
Exactly.
But even more people rely on phones. So why can Apple and Google say everything you do on this general computing device, we need 30%?
When you reach
That's
to a place,
wild.
when you reach to a place of mass, when you reach a mass adoption point where your device or your ecosystem becomes almost essential for normal use, and people can literally live in that and get all their needs met in that, then regulatory bodies have a mandate to make sure that you keep the level, the playing field level for others who want to compete in that same space.
Wait a minute. But wait a minute. Hold on. Just one thing, real quick, slow-mo. See, Rodimus, I think you are forgetting the Microsoft antitrust trials in the late 90s.
That's what made them open. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been open. Yes.
Where Microsoft was literally forced to unbundle Internet Explorer from Windows and present users with a browser ballot that said, hey, would you like to either install Firefox, Netscape, Mozilla? And the benefit to that is they would have had that monopoly on web browsers, and Microsoft would have led where the internet grew. And in the wake of that, Google grew. right, with Chrome and all that, and they were able to, and now they're viable competitors. So it's not necessarily the end of the world. And what you made an argument literally very similar to Bill Gates when he said that's like forcing Coke to include a can of Pepsi in every six-pack.
Yes,
right? But I think that you bring up a great point because Slow-Mo, go ahead. You were first, brother.
With the rhyme with his example, I don't think it's very apples to oranges because he's saying could like Stranger Things on Disney Plus, but these are those aren't hardware. We're talking about what a particular piece of hardware, someone in the customer with that piece of hardware, the options that they have. You already have those options with your Roku or your smart TV, your phone or whatever, to have Disney Plus and Netflix at the same time. Forcing, say, like Disney Plus content onto Netflix or vice versa is a very different thing because they're already competing within the same ecosystem, which is that device that you're watching that content on. That's like, at this point, that would be like PlayStation being able to, here's a different example of that, forcing one of their first party games into Game Pass, or like an Xbox game.
You mean like MLB The Show
onto PS Plus?
You mean like MLB The Show?
well, that was MLB themselves
that was
doing
different.
That was different. That was different. That was a bit different.
Okay,
you have a point. Your point is valid.
On one other more recent examples, regulators right now are potentially going to force they're taking feedback on this right now to force Microsoft to unbundle Teams from their Office subscription.
Yep.
Yeah, they are.
Because how could anyone compete with that? They have not a virtual monopoly, an actual monopoly on the productivity suite with their Microsoft 365.
It's exactly the same thing as they did with Netscape, right? You have all these, and it's not sold, right? Because Netscape was sold back in those days, which is ridiculous if you think about it, a browser being sold in today's world. But either you have it by default on the operating system that you already by default use, or you go and you install Slack. And Slack goes, that's not fair. The tyranny of the default will always keep them winning. And they have a point. And that's why that fight is happening.
This is very interesting.
Plus Team sucks, but go ahead. I don't like it.
This whole conversation is very interesting. And the thing is that what you're seeing come out of, especially the European side of the regulatory body, how they're coming after PlayStation now, and they're saying, you guys have such a stranglehold on this market, on this digital market for gaming on your side, that you're not giving anybody else you're not giving your consumers choices to buy outside of your PSN store. And that's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of, this conversation kind of lends itself a little bit because Google and Apple are like what everyone was saying, are forcing every single developer, everyone, to give them a piece of the pie if you want to play in their yard. If you want to enter their yard, you need to pay them an entry fee. Now, with that said, also, is there some merit to them being able to defend themselves and saying, well, we built the yard, so if you want to come in, you got to pay a finder's fee? That's debatable there, but we do see that these types of conversations are picking up.
When that argument is valid all ways up until the point where where the ecosystem or whatever we're discussing hits critical mass, where everyone has to be in it, like an Amazon, right? When COVID hit, if you didn't have Amazon, you didn't have food, or by and large, at least in certain circles, right? Like, people depended on that service for life for a long time. And when that becomes a thing that you use and there are no other options that can kind of compete there, then the regulatory bodies start looking at you, Amazon, and going, so you are the sun and the moon in the sky. You're also the people on the ground that they're servicing the people. It's not fair to those other competitors in the market. So, as weird as it sounds, it does kind of make sense. Go ahead.
And we can move on, but I need to think about this. There are about 1 billion Windows PCs out there right now, right? A little bit more, but from the ones that can be counted or whatever. So over 1 billion Windows PCs out there right now. And Microsoft on several occasions has been, you know, looked at by regulators to say, hey, you have a monopoly that we allow in the PC desktop space, right? It's just you and Apple for the most part for consumers.
Mhm.
You know, Linux is there, but they're on servers for businesses, right? But for the most part, you have that monopoly. So because of that, you can't just say you have the ability to kill an entire markets before they come up because you have that monopoly, right? And it's not like somebody could realistically not use Windows if they're opening a business, right? Right. And a lot of startups, they start out with things like Slack and Google Work and all that stuff. But as soon as they really start to take off, you know what happens? The adults come in the room and it's time to switch to Windows because you got real problems that you have to deal with. And so those other ecosystems don't scale as well as Microsoft. So you kind of have to use them.
Yep.
Now, what I am saying, what I'm ultimately getting at is that there are more iPhones out there than there are Windows PCs, right? There are 3 times as many Android devices out there as there are Windows PCs and iPhones, right? You cannot get by in today's world without having a phone. And so if you have to have a phone, and by and large, the only commerce and so much commerce happens through phones, the idea that because they provide this general purpose platform, that they deserve 30% of every transaction is wild.
Yeah.
Right.
See,
so
and now you understand why the
ultimately what
FTC. Now you understand why. Now you get why the FTC stands where they stand, but then they go a little off the beaten path and get a little crazy with it to where they need to be reined in.
No, that had nothing to do nothing.
Yeah,
nothing of what
that
we're
was big
talking
tech
about
bad.
had anything to do with Activision.
That was big tech
just
bad.
Stupid. They should have been focusing on.
But what I'm
like
saying is that tends to be the mandate of these regulatory bodies. What you just described tends to be when they wake up out of bed is exactly where you are. Oh, they are at a point now where they are the ecosystem and they're still demanding an entrance fee from every single soul. That wakes up regulatory bodies out of bed, right? Now, how that is dealt with and the logistics there, that leaves something to be debated. But okay, let's hit our last topic and get out of here. Before we do,
I wanted to say something real quick about what we were just talking about, and something that really popped into my mind.
Go ahead. Yeah, let me switch.
Let's say that they're able to force Apple and Google to allow, say, an Xbox store or a PlayStation store, whatever, into say where you just natively have that app on your iPhone, right? Look at how, and this goes to brand power and not necessarily fanboyism, but just how people perceive a particular brand. Look at the PC market and look at what Epic Game Store did. So when you talk about that 30% cut, Valve takes 30% of everything on Steam. When Epic Game Store came to be, and Epic was like, all right, we want to be not just like GOG out here. We want to be a real like storefront on the PC market. So they started doing exclusives, timed exclusive for PC games. That pissed off PC gamers. They started giving free like quality AAA games on a weekly basis into their store. Plenty of people you went and got those, and what they also started to do
on PC.
Yeah, I got GTA like on PC as well, the same way. As well as the first time I got like Remnant 1, I got through Epic Game Store for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now they also gave a cut of like 12%. They only take 12% instead of the 30% this thing does. And if you're using Unreal Engine, and if you make it timed exclusive, they take nothing. They get zero revenue off of the sales through their store. And what is still happening? PC gamers are still going to Steam overwhelmingly. They actually probably hurt themselves even more by doing those kind of things, because as far as the PC gamers, and look, I'm a PC gamer, but I will freely admit a lot of these dudes are Valve fanboys, and anything that threatens Steam, they get in a huff about, and they actually do things that are against their own benefit.
Did you not hear me like totally ridiculing these two for their hate of launchers? Like, it is a thing in the PC space. Oh my God, another launcher. Shut your face and get the free game. What's wrong with you people?
It's free. It's a free launcher. Just go to their website, install it. Two minutes, and you're playing games. But you're gonna rather wait to 6 months for it to show up on Steam, you weirdo. Like I don't get it, right? I do not get it.
I don't.
I can understand
here you go.
Ain't no actually. I can understand on the console side of things.
It's invasive. It's invasive, Slow-mo.
You have to actually buy a piece of hardware that's at minimum $300.
Hold on. Okay, John. Whoa. John Wolf is saying it's invasive. So is it more invasive to pay $60 per game than click a button and get GTA 5 for free? By the way, invasive. GTA 5, a game that could be considered catcher in the rye in gaming that Mr. Everborn Saga still has not played. Just saying.
Never played, never will.
It's invasive.
All I'm saying.
Okay, read the private DM when you get a chance, brother.
Okay.
I enjoy streamlined experiences, and I don't need to be clicking all over the place when I want to go play a game. If I could launch everything from one place from a single UI, and this brings me back to why we need this Xbox OS on PC.
Can you admit this is a minor inconvenience to you and not a big deal?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people make it a big deal.
Minor inconvenience. And actually, you don't even need to click on the launcher. Just have the shortcut on your desktop and click on the actual shortcut of the game, and in the background, it'll do the launcher stuff in the background for you. You don't need to do any of that.
They don't know about shortcuts. They are console players who just want to hit the A
button.
Hashtag
hold the invasive line.
They're console players. But I pressed the button and it didn't do anything. Like,
I just want ease of use.
It is easy.
All of this other stuff.
It is easy, Mr. Software Engineer.
I don't want to sign in everywhere. I want to stop software engineering when I'm trying to game.
Slow-mo, but you gotta admit though that you do roll your eyes when you hear that a game is coming exclusively to Epic. You do roll your eyes just for a second.
No, I don't. I'm like, bet. Because look, every time Epic drops an exclusive game, they also do this. Hey, out of nowhere, here's $10 off any game in the store. They do that all the time. I'm always saving money on Epic. I don't give a crap that I don't have verified reviews or all the other crap on Steam. So what? I'm playing the game.
How can you both champion Game Pass as the biggest deal in gaming because they give you so much? And then Epic is literally Epic is literally throwing games at you for free that you don't even have to sign up for. But you're like, nah, homie, I'd rather wait because it's invasive to click a button. Like,
because everybody, like I said in gaming, sooner or later gets exposed for the frauds they are.
At least you admit it.
Speaking of frauds, Slow-mo, how often do you use the Xbox Store and the Microsoft Store to download games?
All the time. I have Halo. Hold on, let me go look at right now all the games I have installed there on the Xbox Store. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Are there any games in Game Pass that you could have gotten in Game Pass, but then you went and bought it in Steam? Have you ever done that?
The only one was the Master Chief Collection, because back then the Master Chief Collection was broken on the Xbox Store.
Yes, which is true.
Yeah, and I had to buy it on Steam because it wouldn't match make to anybody. It wouldn't match make to anybody. I'd be sitting there for 5 minutes trying to get into a match on the Xbox game, and I had to get the Steam version to actually play it.
That was a UWP problem. Yes.
Right. Now, right now on the Xbox app, I have Starfield installed, Halo Infinite, Persona 5 Tactica, Persona 5 Royal, Lies of P, Battlefield 2042, Sea of Stars, Chained Echoes, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition. What you guys say now, Everborn?
Only one thing though. Wait, hold on. The only one thing I will say about what you're saying there, Slow-mo, is aren't you the guy that advocated for delete your games? How you got so many games on installed.
I'm playing them. Look, hey, I am playing. Look, and if I need space, guess what I do? I delete one of these games. I know, John, I delete one of these games.
External.
So, ladies and gentlemen, look,
I do have 2 terabytes.
We have a few minutes, and I know people want to get out of here. What you see up top there are all the codes, the codes to getting the 3-month Game Pass. The last will be given in a few minutes. I want to go around the horn. Last question, and then we'll get out of here. I will start with Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap. We call this the future episode. We see a lot of back and forth going on in the community. And of course, after I made the show called the future episode, we got a Phil Spencer episode, Spencer interview talking about the future and all the things that they're doing there. In the next 5 years, give me your prognosis, sir, on this whole thing. Are they third party? Are they first party? What do they look like in your estimation?
You asking me first?
I am.
Okay, all right. 5 years from now, they're still doing the same thing they're doing right now. They just got more games out. They may be a bit more aggressive on if depending on how good the content is, right? So let's say 5 years from now, a bulk of the studios that they have acquired have already dropped from start to finish a game published by Xbox.
They've all done their first cycle, and they're going to the second cycle of game releases. Okay.
Right, and so we have a kind of like a barometer of quality with Game Pass, first party, as well as the platform, the ecosystem itself. Okay. If those games are high enough quality that it kind of starts to change where the eyes go and where people are just basically straight up. You gotta have Game Pass.
What does Game Pass look like? Third party, first party? Is it more first than third? Like, how does that look like in 5 years? And this is 5 years where
always be.
This is 5 years where ABK is like solidified now, right? This is 5 years into ABK.
Yeah, when you have the amount of games they have in Game Pass, I think it will always be more third party than first party. But the first party games are what people will be there for. The third party games, like for example, the Shadow Drop of Remnant 1 and 2, that's great, but that's not why people subscribe to Game Pass. That's a extra. That's awesome. Okay, cool, great. You know, if I was going to play, I was eventually going to get to that. Now I got it. It's good to go. But you subscribed for the next Halo, the next Gears, the next Elder Scrolls. Don't you subscribe for the first party content that Xbox has?
I will tell you,
that is
frankly,
great.
I subscribe for things like SteamWorld Build and you know the little indie things, but yeah, I take your point. I subscribe for the unknowns.
The majority of people subscribe for the fact that first party is launch day inside the service. If those things really hit and there's some really can't miss games in there, I think they will be far more keeping everything in house and even taking some games they may have initially thought maybe the net like Elder Scrolls Online 2 or something like that. Hey, the previous one was on PlayStation. We're going to launch the next one on PlayStation because that kind of is keeping with what we did. Never mind, we're doing so good right now. We're going to keep this in house. Like I think there will still remain to have a lot of first party content within the Xbox ecosystem, but how much of that? Let's say if it goes from 100% from like 80% to 100% is determined by how well the service is doing. Because if they're doing great, then you're going to be more aggressive in keeping it in house. Like I feel like Nintendo's position isn't super unique. Nintendo is doing so good that they don't feel like they need to do anything else, honestly. And so when you feel like you don't need to do anything else, you're not going to do anything else. I don't need to give you better hardware because you're buying my trash hardware as it is right now. I don't need to give you the ability to message your friend and say hi because you're still buying everything that I give you hook, line, and sinker. When you start feeling like you actually have to do things to get people to engage with you more, then you're going to do more. So I just
you are 100% right. You're 100%.
I don't need to QA test my games on day one because y'all gonna buy it anyway. Because y'all want to play, right?
Right,
Everborn.
Everborn.
A subscription service, do you?
Right, Everborn.
So,
Jedi Survivor.
Mr. John Wolf, John Wolf, same question to you. 5 years from now, ABK is all but solidified. Maybe they have a few more new studios in the mix. Who knows? Maybe how does Game Pass look? How are there more flywheel? Is it one banger after another, or do we see more Redfalls, sir? What do you think?
Well, I think that realistically, for us to really think that there's never going to be another bad game that they release is unrealistic, you know, because there is going to be a game out there or two that doesn't hit, you know, that critical mass. But that's going to be, I truly believe, though, that we will not have a Redfall in the future, in the sense that major collapse like that. I think that was a learning point for them. So we shouldn't see that, because, you know, when you make a mistake in life, you need to improve and try never to make that mistake again, especially a critical one, right? But I do think that Xbox, just like one of the things that I enjoy most about the Xbox ecosystem and why they are kind of like my preferred ecosystem in the world of gaming is because of their of what they've innovated in the gaming space. And I think that that's something that we saw during the Xbox 360 days, especially with the introduction of online gaming in the console space, how we saw how we can have our identities portrayed in profiles and stuff like that. It gave us an identity to our gaming personas, right? And this generation, we see that Game Pass is kind of like that disruptor, and that's one of the things that I like. I like it when companies come in, and Nintendo and PlayStation have their own things as well that they've done. But I think that in 5 years, realistically, we're just going to see the next innovation of what Game Pass can be, right? What does that mean? Does that mean that they've created a cadence where now gamers are expecting a big, nice release every 3 months, and that's kind of like the new norm? That's kind of like the new life that we're living. That's only going to make life better for consumers and people that want to consume this media, but also it's going to make PlayStation and Nintendo step up their game, because now they're going to have to understand that to match the content coming out on one of their competitors, they maybe need to kind of restructure the way that they do things internally, and vice versa. You know, it all depends on where we will be. But at the end of the day, I think that some of the points that Xbox wants to hit internally, I would guess, is that I do think that they want Game Pass to be more of a console pusher, for them to bring out more games, and that's something that I would think that internally they at least want to be neck and neck or surpass the PlayStation 5 console within the United States. You know, at the end of the generation, they want to at least say that they were able to surpass the PS5 in sales in the US, not worldwide, because worldwide it's not going to happen, but at least be very competitive inside the United States. I think that that's I would think that that's something that they want to be at. And I think that Game Pass, they are definitely using it. We see that they're using it as the catalyst to that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they're just going to keep on innovating in the Game Pass space as in the next 5 years.
Okay. All right. So before I ask Mr. Everborn Saga to close this out, Grumpy Shaman, $2 super chat. He says, great show, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Grumpy Shaman is always in here, always with support. We appreciate you, man. We thank you for just interacting with the content, man. It's always good to see you here, and you always have great comments and words of support. So thank you so much. You see all the codes in here right now. As Everborn Saga starts giving us his reasons, you will start seeing those filled in. When they fill in, and get your redeem.microsoft.com ready. Whoever gets it, just put it in the chat and let us know you got it. You know, we appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with us and for being here. All right, so Mr. Everborn Saga. Oh, and before we go, let me close out the poll. With a lot more people have now voted, and the poll was gaming purchases. Do you do it day one? Do you wait till it's in a subservice, right? And 32% now, the winning percentage, buy it day one. So clearly we are we are the hardcore audience, obviously.
Let's go.
The pay pig, yes. We have the charge us more, right? And then 26% of our audience is wait till it's in the service. And then 15% say slow-mo is just trolling. And second only to their first day ones, There are 27% in here. They got their hands out waiting for you to drop some coin there. Drop a coin for you. Come on, man.
I ain't got it. Elon's getting on my money.
How many? Hold on, real quick. Hey, everyone, how many countries have you been to this year?
This year?
2 or three. I don't know.
That's not bad.
You can't even tell me accurately how many countries you've been to
that
this
is
year.
Besides the
I've
point,
been to 3.
sir.
All I ask for is $20 for some Whataburger, man. That's all I want.
Come
okay?
on.
What about for cab fare to get to work?
I don't need that. No.
Oh no! Don't do that! 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 So again, before we get out of here,
is that the same one he copied and pasted and sent to UK?
Don't do that! Don't stop! Stop! You're gonna break the show again. Don't do that. So, Mr. Everborn Saga, for those who know, Mr. Everborn Saga, sir. I saw Slow-Mo was upset. No, okay, stop. He was upset. Anyway, Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap, thank you for being here.
Why can't he give a straight answer though?
Stop.
Like, why was it like?
You're throwing a wrench in the works.
You know, I'm telling
you're throwing a wrench in the works right now. Stop.
How many people did you scam? What?
27. Stop.
How many what?
107.
What's going on? I don't know. How much money did you get from people? What is that?
Clearly, most of our audience, some if not most of our audience, don't know what you're talking about, and we're not going to explain.
Because I gave $4,200.
What? Anyway, Everborn Saga, sir.
And then the second time I gave him $700.
I just kept forgetting that he kept asking me for lunch money. I don't know. It added up to like $500. Who knows?
Everborn Saga, sir.
Come on, they were like, you don't love Jesus, do you?
Would you stop it? 5 years from now. 5 years.
5 years from now.
They have ABK. Do they have some Embracer studios? Sarah Bond is boss?
Home.
That's right. Well. What are your thoughts? 5 years from now. Go.
Okay, 5 years from now, Sarah Bond they will have acquired Sega after the regulatory environment changes. I think, and again, all we're talking about is next generation when we say 5 years from now.
Yes, we're talking next gen. Yeah, 2028.
They haven't made a decision on this yet, but I do think they're going to go with the ARM.
You think they're going to go ARM?
I think they're going to go ARM for the next Xbox.
Interesting.
I think Call of Duty, even beyond I know you're not talking about this far out, but even beyond the 10-year contract, will be on every screen they can put it on. I think Call of Duty will be treated like Minecraft. I am not entirely certain for Overwatch and Diablo. I think Warcraft will go everywhere. So if they make it for console, I think they'll make it on PlayStation also.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I think Overwatch, multi-plat, Diablo exclusive. Just because what kind of game Overwatch is, it's now live service.
Yeah, I could 100% see that. But I mean, the way they've designed Diablo is kind of like that too. But it's
True.
So we'll see. But it only this Diablo game is going to be updated and treated like a live service game. So they may keep it everywhere. We'll see. But I really don't think, unless it is green lighting smaller projects, I do not think we're going to get any exclusives from Activision. Again, unless it's something like a smaller team says, hey, I want to go and I want to bring back this game.
Technically they can't, right?
Right?
Doesn't all Activision product for the next 10 years automatically join their cloud streaming, which effectively doesn't make it exclusive to anyone, right?
Yeah, but you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So that being said, I do think we are going to gradually see a ramp up of aggressive marketing, aggressive deal making, and because again, they had to play possum because they were dealing with regulators who did not trust them. So again, and again, everybody says, well, Phil said we lost the console war. Phil said we want to be everywhere. Tim said, but John, right? Everybody says that.
The But John episode.
That's what you should rename this episode.
I know, I should.
No. But the thing is, there was $70 billion on the line. So should Microsoft have said we have world domination plans?
Yeah.
Right? Should they have said, well, actually, we're winning on this front and that front, when they're taking every word you said? They're going into Matt Booty's DMs and like, you said this thing this one time in that email, right? They were twisting every word of theirs to make them look like the evil villain of the industry. So they had to say we're losing, so that the regulators would approve the deal. So I say all this to say, with the deal closed, I think you're going to see a much more aggressive thing. I think they're going to get in line on messaging. I think they're going to do a lot in terms of marketing. So 5 years from now, they will not be a third-party publisher. I think they are going to deliver on their 4 AAA games a year. And I do think we'll see 1 or 2 more Redfalls.
Yes,
I don't. I think this is the most important thing that I'm saying.
I just got the bubble guts hearing that.
No. I hear you.
It just happens. Yeah, it would happen.
With the amount of game times they're going to be going to bat, right? And they're going to release more. They're going to release 4 AAA games a year, but they're probably going to release 6 to 8 total games a year when you consider the smaller projects, right?
Yep.
I'm sorry. You want to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. I think there are going to be some bad days at the office. And I do think the media and everyone else is going to portray the 1 or 2 bad days as though it is emblematic of the whole picture. But they're going to have some misses. Even if
I can understand having misses like, say, Bleeding Edge, where it wasn't a miscommunication of issues, that the team didn't want to make the game. They just really kind of missed on content. They missed in finding a level community to play the game. And it just really wasn't as a game as good as what other hero shooters are. I understand that kind of miss. Redfall is a miss where it's literally came down to the game should have been either canceled or completely rebooted to something that would have worked better for the studio, and that was due to a transition from Bethesda ZeniMax Media being acquired. When you say 2 more Redfalls, what I'm thinking about isn't like the end result of like it being a 50 rated game, which I think is abysmal. That's really low.
Let me clarify. When I say 2 Redfalls, I mean they're gonna put out a few games that just don't hit.
Yeah, okay, right? So that could be a 68 or something like that, like even a 73. It's okay. It's mid. It's Immortals of Avium,
No,
good bookend. Well done.
The reason I'm saying that is I don't think that will be the case with like Hellblade and Avowed and whatever other games, but they are gonna have bad days at the office. And I think with as much variety as they are trying, right? They're not saying we do one thing. Let's just keep getting better and better. And better.
We're not doing Sad Dad Simulator. Yes, we're doing many things.
They're doing a bunch of different things. Some of the shit is not going to work.
So
now, Redfall is a different situation. So I used the wrong one. But
real quick,
that's cool. Yeah.
I see Cheo Walker in the chat. Before we go, because we're running long. Pause. He did put some really interesting nuggets into the Twitter space that I really want to mention real quick and get you guys to weigh in quick.
Sorry, Starfield is at 12 million.
Starfield, 12 million players. Interesting. Announced today by Phil Spencer in Brazil. Also, Brazil.
But John, I heard no one was playing the game anymore.
Also,
and their player numbers are falling off.
Also, Brazil is number one in using Xbox app on Samsung TVs. So it seems like in Brazil specifically, where hardware is expensive to come by, they are like leaning far more on the hey, we're just playing this game using our existing connections and whatnot, than actually going to
what
buy
is happening in Brazil? And does Samsung have a factory in Brazil where the back door is just open every night at 3 a.m. on the dot? Like, what is happening?
Brazil, baby.
Interesting, no?
Hey, everybody got a 65-inch Samsung in their house.
There you go.
I like that.
There you go. Everybody got a crazy Samsung in their house. Let's see. So let me make sure. Oh, and I've been told that I missed the code. I missed one of the codes here. So let me make sure I have it complete. There you go. That's the whole thing. So if you haven't gotten it,
you gotta be watching at the end if you want the whole code.
That's right. Got the whole thing. And Cheo says that Phil is still talking. We gonna get out of here and go catch some of the news drops. Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap, sir, it is always a pleasure and an honor to have your slanderous takes on the show. Tell the people where they can keep up with all your ongoings.
I'm so sorry, Slow-Mo. One thing I had to ask you, we didn't bring this up. Halo Season 2, February, right? That's what they said, or was it April?
I think it's February.
Now, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we can get out of here. Asante, your biggest complaint about Infinite was why didn't they have content ready to go with the show?
Synergies.
Do you think Pierre Hines will have content ready to go with the new season of Halo?
Brother, all I say is they effing better.
I think you will.
And I'm not talking about no damn stupid keychains you put on your gun while you're shooting. Stop the cap. Like, give me some real, hey, this is exciting characters, storylines, maybe.
Oh,
who knows?
Somebody got the code Devon 360. Deva. I don't know how you say that name.
Can you imagine a bare ass Master Chief coming out there in the battlefield,
running around Master Chiefs? That could be cool, right? Can you imagine that? They put armor, full armor.
No, God, no, please.
With assless chaps.
That, yo.
Full armor, assless chaps called a Master Cheeks. The Master Cheeks
they
armor set.
They can be they don't need to go for rated R on this. All they can do is put the little peach emoji every time you see him running around, and that's it, man. Easy.
I like that you did that.
I just gave him $1 million.
That has been GCP. Do not listen to any of that, please. Do not do it. Now look, they added a Master Chief skin in multiplayer recently. Yeah. It's a bit overpriced, but they did add that. And I think that's Pierre's influence. I think he's definitely. I am more on the side of please continue. And the Firefight's coming next week. I think.
Who knew that they were gonna put Master Chief in Rainbow Six before they put it in Halo Infinite?
Hey man, look, there is a reference to the what was the big meme that dogged Halo Infinite for a long time? The brute that had the clear face or whatever. What's his name? Like they call it Craig. They actually added a Craig Easter egg in the campaign. So who says they can't? That you can't find assless chaps armor from Master
But that is within the game. That's a game meme. I don't want to see anything from Paramount on it.
Flag on the play. We are not out here looking forward to.
Give me Master Cheeks, and I will play multiplayer.
You take the cheeks that you want, sir.
Because that'll take. I will not judge you. Look, that will take teabagging to a whole new level.
Just don't shoot me from behind.
Hey yo.
Yeah, look. Pause. Wow.
I had to do mine.
Just don't shoot me from behind. John Wolf.
That's your show, folks.
So Slow-Mo, where can people find you? Tell them where they can keep up with DPS.
All right. This has been a funny show. I've had a lot of fun. Thanks for taking a shot, Everborn. So I jumped on to start yelling because you
fell for a hook, line, and sinker.
I sure did.
As what's his name? As Lord Addict likes to quote, you what was he? You trapped my
fell for my trap card.
You fell for my trap card. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely in the engagement wars because I'm in there every single day on Twitter.
But yeah, go ahead, man.
DPS podcast last Thursday. It was on Game and Forte's channel. Me and Forte had a great show. Come check that out on this channel. We also have a Damage Per Second podcast channel as well. So like we dual stream. Next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it'll be on my channel. We're actually gonna go live a little earlier because that is the day of the Video Game Awards. So we'll be live streaming the Video Game Awards and then giving our like reactions after the fact. So if you like to come on through and listen to me and Forte yell at each other for a good probably 4 hours, because these Video Game Award shows will always take forever because Keely has to have like 20 performances from Green Day. But just come on through. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be awesome. Appreciate being there.
Excellent. How about you, Mr. John Wolf? I know we got a show on Monday. Anywhere else they can keep up with you? Where can people keep up with all your slanderous takes and get some of that Latino heat?
Of course, Twitter always, guys. It's xJohnNNNN. PlayStation, Steam, Xbox, guys. Jump on there and we can play some Call of Duty together if you guys are up for it. And just have the stomach for all the bad tweets that I put out there.
Yeah, you better be careful when you sign up to old Mr. John Wolf's tweets, man. Your timeline gets interesting. I'm just saying.
But it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me on here, Kay. Like always, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Everborn, Slow-Mo, you guys are champs in this space, man. So it's a pleasure being on here.
And as for me, of course, you catch me, of course, on Monday night. Myself and Mr. John Wolf will be doing the Gamers Playground. Catch me on Wednesdays, PTG. You see how that works? PTG with the brothers, all the primetime gaming brethren, and of course, back here next Saturday. And yeah, it's been a great show. Salute to you, what is it, Duva360 for getting the code. Thank you so much for being here and being supportive. We will be doing some more interesting giveaways as time permits and as we do. But yeah, it's been fun. Keep it gaming. And
Do I not get an outro? What are we doing? What are we doing
They
here?
just gave you the chaps treatment right there.
What kind of wrapping up stuff are we doing?
Mr. Everborn Saga, sir. Where can we find
Just play the YMCA song on an outro.
No, I was gonna do that. I was just messing with you. Go ahead.
So to make this announcement, next week's show will be our last live show of the year. We have some other. I don't know if this was already said, but in case the host who forgot to give me an outro forgot to tell you.
Forgot? Really?
I want everybody here next week. Just because it's gonna be our last live show of the year, so we can hang out, have fun. We're gonna we're gonna do a pre-recorded show that talks about the plans for 2024, and we're gonna do a pre-recorded show to do Starfield spoiler talk. So if you're in the inner circle and you know who you are, we invite you to be on the show. So we could finally talk Starfield spoilers. So those will be the two pre-recorded things that we do for the rest of the year. But next Saturday is the last time to come hang out with us. The Saturday after that is my birthday. The Saturday after that is
my birthday,
Christmas, and
basically.
Right. And so that's why. And then we got New Year. So that's going to be it. We're going to come back, recharge for 2024. But next week is it. And I just wanted everybody to know that before we got out of here this week, so they're not surprised.
I promise I was gonna give you an outro. I was just being slandered. But we're also here more about the Everborn Saga. I know that we have in 2024. There's gonna be Patreon. There's gonna be new book. There's gonna be right. All
this will be talked about on our future state of GCP.
Okay. Well, for myself, Mr. Everborn Saga, and the great panel and chat, we appreciate y'all for watching and or listening. Thank you guys so much for being around, and of course, keep it gaming. And yes, I need my assless chaps from Master Chief. Forgive me.
Nice to be in orbit.